Hey, welcome everybody to another brand new live episode of Game Time here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I'm excited to be getting into so many things. You know, the playoffs, Winston A. Marshall, we can smell the playoffs around the corner. It's great to see you. Jay Washington will be coming in once he figures out his internet issues out, but we are back again. I mean, Winston, we had a lot of good games this weekend. Already the NFC East. Now you don't know what the hell's going to happen with that damn division anymore. And so it's all craziness right now, but the Chiefs continued their thing. How are you, and how was this weekend for you with your Cowboys getting an unexpected victory here against these 49ers?
Bro, this is the year we take it, fool. We going to the Super Bowl. Let's go. No, real talk. We can't decide if we want to be good or bad, and it's kind of frustrating. I think this is the beginning of the end for Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
The way he's playing, like Pollard got in there and did fucking work.
Yeah.
This might be the end.
Got your touchdowns. He played well.
And over 100 yards, I believe. So like I mean, I'm grateful that in the league that I had Ezekiel Elliott, I happened to handcuff Pollard like week 3 just because I was like, I don't know if this fool gonna get hurt. He kind of playing like he don't want it no more. Like, you know what I mean? I was just like, all right, so I'm glad that happened. But the real tragedy, even though I will be going to the fantasy football playoffs in both leagues that I'm in, I picked up the running back for Miami. I didn't play him in either game, and he's sitting on my bench with some 25 points. And the shitty part is, like, I still won without it, but I gave myself unnecessary stress because I only beat both teams by about maybe 5 or 10, and that's at the end there. If I had done that, I would have won this shit at like noon, and I could have just been drunk and fine and not had to worry about all this. So
well, welcome to the show, Jay Washington. Another winner this weekend with your Chicago Bears. Bro, you might be going to the playoffs. Are you excited about this? Mitchell Trubisky might be coming back to be a quarterback in 2021. Someone put the stats out.
First of all, I'm going to stop you because you killed my mood today. Happy Negro Superpower Day to all.
Hey, bro, what did you get? What did you get? Because
listen, I got this, man. I got the immense ability, the incredible ability to ignore the fuck out of my baby's mamas. Like, it was amazing, nigga. Wow. This ability is phenomenal. Like, it's been like if they start talking, my abilities can be like, woo, and push that shit away. Like, I thought I got extra strength because I could pick the couch up with one arm, but then I was like, oh, nigga, that's just normal. So happy Negro Power Day, happy Negro Solstice to all of my black people. If you light-skinned it, I understand you got your Prince. I get that, or you got your Meg Griffin fingernails. And if you
no, that's if you mix. You ain't gonna talk about us light skinned folk like we ain't out here just bro. I got the power to turn invisible, nigga. That's what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like you just all of a sudden it just slowly fade into the light, sir. So there you go.
These are great powers to have. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yo, so is Rocha like Iron Man? No. Hold on. Since he goes to Black Lanta, does he have to make his own powers? Is that what that is? That's what I was saying. Like, is he Iron Man?
It's like tamale masa to get back.
I like tamales. I'll take it. Jay, your Bears did a number on these Vikings who were trying to struggle to get into the playoffs. Now you guys,
they almost lost it. I think that's the problem. Again, it was clear, concise the first 2-3 quarters almost.
Yeah,
we were like, okay, this is our game. Then you go into the fourth quarter, you're like, here we fucking go again, because that's literally what every Bears fan thought. And now that we're literally in this hunt for the wild card spot. Okay, cool. Again, depending on where we fall in line, I didn't get a chance to pull everything up because the internet is acting stupid because for some reason I think God hates me because of what's happening at my house this weekend. Winston knows about it. I'll tell you about it later. Talk about it on Blur Smart.
Wait. Someone just brought up the point that Rocha does have powers. Remember, he is Vandal Savage. He is immortal.
He has been here since Rocha, your DNA been unlocked.
That's true.
It's been 800 years since the last time Jupiter and Saturn came together. He was there for the first solstice, bruh. He was on
the party. He was like, "Yo, what's up, everybody?" No, here's the thing.
It was a hell of a thing.
What scares me is the Bears go out first round, and then you sit there and people use this to say, there's nothing wrong with keeping Nagy, Pace, and Trubisky. That's not the case.
Right.
Of course I died. Of course I went out. Of course I did. Oh, I didn't. Oh, my other internet popped up. Oh, my Internet Explorer popped up. I was like, the screen went white. Of course it went out. But no, that's the thing. Like, I don't want them, I don't want people to start using this as a reason to say it's okay to keep Trubisky another year. It's
okay already.
The
columnists are coming out, Jay, already saying, look, with Kyle, with whatever his name is, Nick Foles, you guys went 2-5, but with Trubisky, you went 5-2. And already some of these columnists, some of the Chicago area columnists are saying, well, if Nagy hadn't pulled him,
this ain't water, this is vodka. That's how I feel about it. This is all vodka.
They said if they hadn't pulled Nagy, or if Nagy hadn't pulled him too quickly, they'd have got an extra victory on there in Chicago. And so it could have put you guys one up and heading into the playoffs assuredly, as opposed to fighting for it over the next 2 weeks. Oh shit, do we lose him again? Damn it, Jay. I thought we fixed it. I thought we fixed it. Oh well.
Bro, it's 2020. What you talking about? We ain't fixed shit, bro. We ain't fixed a goddamn thing. Oh man.
All right, when he starts moving again, I'll bring him back in. Either way, well, we'll get into the Chicago game and the Dallas game a little bit later. Let's jump into this Chiefs Saints game. There he is again. All right, Chiefs Saints game.
I don't get it. I'm so upset.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll start with the Chiefs Saints game. This game yesterday, it looked like it was going to be a blowout. The Chiefs looked really in that first quarter. They looked really ready for the game. Drew Brees recovering, coming back for the first time from 17 broken ribs. He was playing terribly in the first quarter and then eventually figured it out. And this game came real close. It took a Kansas City defensive stand near the end for the Chiefs to finally take this thing. But I mean, the Saints ain't going anywhere. They ain't going away. Maybe they'll make some noise in the playoffs, but they gave the Chiefs all they could handle in this game when it looked like the Chiefs might run away with this thing. What was your impression of this overall there, Winston?
This was actually one of the games that I watched this past weekend, and I think the proof that kind of came through with this is that the Saints are in trouble. I think that their defense is super strong right now. I think that the fact that they gave Mahomes as much of the business as they did was pretty impressive. But even with that, the Chiefs just went off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they still had 232 yards in the air, 179 on the ground. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they still handled it, but they forced 3 fumbles? And one of which they recovered, the Saints did. So like I have more faith in that defense right now, even though they made a few boneheaded mistakes here and there. But that's kind of scary. You only had 60 yards on the ground. Drew Brees was not looking up to snuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he you could clearly see he is still hurting. Like a lot of his throws, he normally does a full extension. Clearly his ribs are hurting because he had a lot of like kind of tight, and he didn't throw a whole lot of deep balls. And then when you put Taysom in, like he still did what he does. Like he's really good at that kind of short running stuff and whatnot. But like we've already seen that we can't necessarily depend on that. And apparently Jameis has COVID. Is that what's going on? Is that why he's not involved? Supposedly.
Anything to cover him not being a part of the team, I guess they'll just say COVID. That sounds good. Yeah, COVID.
What I mean, I you never know one way or the other. I mean, I'm not happy that the running back that Ronald Jones, who was like my running back too, on fantasy, like all of a sudden it was like, he got COVID. I'm like, motherfucker, it's the playoffs. I ain't got time for this. I got time for no motherfucking COVID. But that's the thing, man. I think with Drew looking like this, you're only opening yourself. Like, I know the idea of being a warrior and staying tough and pushing through. You're only opening yourself up for him to get re-injured.
Yeah.
And if he was balling out of control, this would be different. And still coming back off that injury, 234, 3 touchdowns and an interception.
Not too bad.
Like, that's not bad. I wouldn't take that away from him, but he's not the Hall of Fame Drew Brees right now.
No, it's a good point. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Vince.
No, that's it. That just could be dangerous.
Yeah, and he completed less than half of his passes, so that's not a good thing. He did get intercepted for sure. I think you got to look back at that fumble near the end of the first half where the Kansas City running a punt returner fumbled the ball instead of just sitting on the thing or calling a fair catch and let him run at the clock. He thought he'd do a little fancy stuff and run around, and the Saints got that ball out of his hand, started bouncing through the end zone. That linebacker just fumbled it out of the end zone instead of just falling on it and staying still, fell on it, bounced, the ball came out of his hands, and they didn't get the touchdown. That touchdown
could have been a safety. Yeah.
But, could have made a difference in momentum shift or whatever as we got into the second half. But that being said, Kansas City, 254 yards from Mahomes and 3 touchdowns. This is their 9th straight win. They're still on track to keep that number 1 spot in the AFC, and the Saints missed a chance for the second week in a row to clinch the NFC South. They were up 29-15 with about 10 minutes left, and then the Saints came storming back to try to make this thing a little bit closer. But the Chiefs were pulling out new plays that we hadn't seen before. That touchdown to Kelsey was like hike boom. I was like, damn, man.
Yeah,
you start doing that shit,
dude.
In trouble, dude.
Oh God, dude, 2020 just needs to fucking chill. Kevin Greene, the former Steelers linebacker, the Hall of Famer, he just died.
What?
At 58, yeah.
Holy shit,
dude!
Wow, a professional wrestler too, right, Jay? Kevin Greene. He was in WCW. Jay,
was he?
Yes, he was.
Was
he WWF? Was he WWE?
Let me see. Hold on.
Wrestling career, yeah, he was in WCW.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He debuted in WCW as a tag team partner for fellow NFL alum Steve McMichael.
Yep, that's where he came in. Yep. He was there for Mongo. Yep.
Fuck.
Wow.
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
Wow. Dude, this year, man, like even to the fucking end, this year's just throwing out the hits. Like,
well,
and not even the good ones.
Put it like this: if this is gonna sound so fucked up, and the comic in me is like, say it right way. It's like, but there's no right way. If people die just normally of old age or something like that,
right?
That's just a normal 2020.
No.
When you hear somebody COVID took a motherfucker out, you're like, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Because that one year, like 2015, 2016, it was like every 3 minutes somebody was dying.
Yeah. No, I get it, but I like it's I get it. Part of it's COVID too, but like Kobe went out from a helicopter crash. Like
that's 2020. That's 2020.
Like Chadwick went out at 40 from colon cancer that nobody knew he was doing while he was out here making blockbusters. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what
I love it. I love it. And I say I love it the fact that nobody knew, because I love the fact his circle. Come on, fam.
Yo, real talk. We need to capture Rocha and Betty, and we got to start running these experiments like Weapon X, bro. We got to figure out why they live forever.
Have you ever seen the movie The Old Guard?
No.
On Netflix, there's this movie called The Old Guard with Charlize Theron. It's her and 3 other people. They're groups of immortals. But the crazy part is your immortality can just wear off out of nowhere, and you never know when it's gonna happen.
It's true.
Betty White been around this motherfucker. What's gonna happen is they're gonna get Betty White to do the pumps and the bump remix. She gonna break a hip, then that's it. Rocha gonna get told he'll never be on a sports station, and that's what's gonna take him out.
I'm gonna age overnight, man.
He go,
That's Kevin Greene.
Yep.
There, he was drafted by the LA Rams out of Auburn in 1985. He signed with the Steelers as a free agent in 93. He was a 2-time Pro Bowl selection during his 3 seasons with Pittsburgh, and he was a key member of the defense when the Steelers reached Super Bowl 30. He retired after the 1999 season. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2016. I remember him as part of the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if
he was a monster on Panthers. I remember that.
Right. He was part of those Panthers, so that's what I remember him from. But yeah, sad to see 58. They didn't reveal what it was that caused his death yet. They don't say if it's COVID related or not, but it's absolutely just a shame to see that he has passed on. Wow, what a surprising bit of news. Jesus, we can't survive like an hour without something happening or hearing anything about someone passing away unexpectedly. It just sucks. Meanwhile, Brees, like I said, a bunch of broken ribs coming back. The Chiefs going toe to toe. But I agree with you. I think you came out of this thing feeling a little bit like the Saints have, just like they have for the last 5 years, right? They have enough to get there. They have enough to challenge. They just don't seem to have enough to get over that hill and get the job done. And certainly against these Chiefs, they valiantly fought back, but it still wasn't enough to get the victory. The Chiefs, though, did lose their running back coming out of the game to a lefty injury, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It was his left leg. They said the x-rays were negative, but they're going to evaluate today. So they're waiting to hear if he's going to be out for some time. He's been a key part of that offense over the season. So it could be a big loss for them if they can't have some kind of running game to offset all the different tricks they're doing in the passing game. That could be a real issue for the Chiefs coming out of this game.
Look, they still have their running game has been something they've grown, but they still have that air game. They still have Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. You want to be able to say we don't have to just rely on that one section of our offense. Yeah. You want to have both, offensive pass and rushing, but it's a sad thing to hear a player go down. They say it's nothing major as of right now. Yeah, so it's not one of those things where you're looking at it like, all right, could this really affect the Chiefs? If you hear the words Patrick Mahomes has went down, then it's over for the Chiefs, because that's how they make. I'm just calling. Let's just call it for what it is.
Yeah. But how many teams are like that though? Where you could survive with your superstar gone, but you're not going to be as effective as you are, and that's what's kind of the case with the Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes goes down, they would still be a threat, but they are the odds-on favorite to win this whole thing right now. If Mahomes goes down, they go from the odds-on favorite to maybe 4th or 5th in the pack. Honestly,
yeah. They don't drop to the they don't drop to the bottom. I mean,
no, they don't drop. They don't drop to the bottom because it's a team game. But like the shit that Mahomes does and the way he works so succinctly with his offense, they do take a massive hit. It's the same thing that happened to the Saints. The minute you lost Brees, like, Taysom held some stuff down for you, but did you see how ineffective the Saints were, relatively speaking?
Yeah, but here's the thing about that. So
they weren't playing great.
You can look at what Teddy Bridgewater did last season,
right?
When Drew Brees, so it proves that with a team like the Saints, yes, it's great to have the man in the saddle as far as Drew Brees, but they've shown they can have those who can replace him need be. If it's a momentary time, if it's just a little minute. Now, do we know of anybody in Kansas City that can give you that same feel if Mahomes go down?
I mean, who's the backup? I don't even know who the backup is to him right now.
That's a good question. I don't know if there's anybody in Kansas City who would be able to step in at this point as the backup quarterback to take care of business for them. Because
I'm trying to look at the roster.
I don't see if that's
look at the rosters like
So Chad Henne is the backup. That's the only other quarterback.
Jacksonville, Chad Henne.
I don't like this. Isn't good. I mean, Edwards Hilaire is probably out.
Yeah.
That was a nasty. He didn't get hit any sort of crazy, but the way that he was walking. Like, they straight up had to have 2 people on each side with his I believe his left knee, just like, how when you've done something, he's like hopping on just his right leg. So it's like he can't put any weight on it at all. I would venture a guess that even if it's not a full blown tear, or he has like maybe like a small tear in the ligament or something like that, because I've done that before. If you can't put weight on it, like, God help you. You're not unless they decide to stick you with hella steroids, but why would you sacrifice potentially your career for a moment? You know what I'm saying?
When you take the hit instantly, you won't be able to put weight on it anyway. So that's one of those things off jump, the impact of the hit. You know what I'm saying? I get where you're coming from completely. I get 100%, but it's like the impact of the hit itself is always that, all right, what is this? They need help. They need to be escorted. Even people who get the wind knocked out of them. We think it might be a rib injury or something. They get the wind knocked out of them. They all hunched over and being carried off. And so it doesn't be that. And again, for them to say, as of right now, nothing seems structurally wrong, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And you might get the steroid injection and pump them up full of stuff. And, know.
The latest one from news is that it's a high ankle sprain. So, those take about a week or 2 to recover from. So he might be out next week. I mean, I wouldn't even chance him to try to play, because at this point, the Steelers, you're one game, but the Steelers are one game behind you. But I think it's also safe for you to kind of take a 1 week off with your running back and rely on Mahomes, rely on the receivers, while those guys getting open.
Let's see what Le'Veon Bell has left in the tank. Man.
Right,
he was supposed to be that guy. You signed him, like, with Thompson out and Edwards Hilaire out, like. Let's see what Bell's got. This is your moment to show the league, whether it's to stay with the Chiefs or to have another team throw some ducats your way next year. Time to put up or shut up, bro. He was the best scat back, like pass catching back in the league for a couple of years, and now he's been passed up by Kamara and various other players. So this is his moment, man.
Scat back. Somebody. Yeah, I know, but I'm joking. All right, anyway, Jay. Let's move on. All right, yeah, and also Michael Thomas has been put on injured reserve. That's another reason maybe that the Saints didn't quite get the job done yesterday. Michael Thomas, after going back and forth about this ankle injury of his, he has been put on injured reserve. He won't be able to come back until January 9th, which is the second week of the playoffs.
You run your mouth.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's issues too between Michael.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, he said that, told him, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. And he was like, oh, you hurt?
Bam.
Don't worry, we're gonna let you heal up. No. Sit down. Chill. But you still gotta come to everything.
Yeah.
They're like, but you still gotta show up to everything now. And now he like, fuck.
Right. All right. Hey, so
man, if the Chiefs don't win out now, bro, all you got left is the Falcons and the Chargers.
Right.
You better win the fuck out. Like that would be depressing.
Well,
also, it bums me out looking back at this. Their only losses to the Raiders. It probably makes the most sense looking at their schedule, because the only other team on here that has been like I see two teams that were actual threats.
Yeah.
The Bills and the Saints. And if you can handle the Saints, like, I'm not saying the Dolphins haven't been good this year. They have, but I don't know if they're on the Chiefs level quite yet, you know?
Right.
So to just look at this, if they don't beat the Falcons and the Chargers, I'm gonna be sad for them, bro. Like this is actually a year they could have gone fully undefeated on the season. Real talk.
It's a real good point. All right, let's take a look at this situation here. Also, move on to our next game. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, Streamlabs Super Chats are important. I can't pay these gentlemen if you don't send in Streamlabs and Super Chats. So send them in and let us know what you're feeling, what questions you got, what comments you got, things of that nature. Xavier Black Wiley said, I have the power to ignore my baby mama. I'm dying, Jay. P.S. The Rams and Jets game was wired. The Rams are not the team we thought, or maybe it's me. Yeah, we'll get to that one for sure.
Well, hey, I've been saying this though. I have been a Rams hater for a while, but that's fine.
Yeah, fair point. Let's see here. We've got a couple more. J-Dog says Packers and Browns both won. I'm content. All right, shout out to you there. Kenneth Daisy said, it's not much, but I figured it wouldn't cost too much just for the letter E. Sad the Pats are out of the playoffs, but I would expect nothing less from 2020. Chances Cam is back next year. 0.
Hey, he had to say, when Cam Newton had to make a statement, hey, man, I still got a lot of football left up in me.
Zero.
Did he say that in his post?
Yeah, he said that. That lets you know. Yeah, I'm probably going to be out of here.
Bro, you know he's upset that a motherfucker that this game wasn't a Monday night game, so he couldn't have had his powers in there to help him the fuck out. He's out here like, come on, man, someone get this lead off of me. Get this lead off of me. Oh my god!
I love it. Out your next game, it's a Sunday night game. It's December 20th. Excuse me. Yeah, we can move it to the 21st. No, but the Negro solstice.
I have COVID again. I have COVID. Can we do this tomorrow?
I got 1 day COVID. 1 day COVID.
Has anybody called and trolled Roxy yet?
No, not yet.
You want to call her and put her on speaker? We can make fun of her real quick.
I think she's on her own show. She started a little bit late today, so she might still be going live on her own show.
Right,
so maybe I'm down with that, though. I'm down with that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, one last comment before we move on from Hitman Hudson. Says Texan A&M was robbed. Hitman, they might have been robbed, but to be honest with you, we've all been robbed this year as college football fans of a legitimate college football season. So if I were you, I wouldn't give two shits about the fact you guys didn't get into the college football playoff. It means nothing.
Bro, you have to understand something. I mean, I think that they'd be good to handle it in a regular season too, like in a real normal college football season. But you got to understand, if you're a team that's like kind of under that bubble all the time because, like, you know, they just love to just give Alabama and Clemson just like automatic passes every fucking year, you would be pissed off that Notre Dame shit the bed that hard and you didn't get a fucking opportunity. Like, take every shot you got, goddammit. And if this was the year, this was the year.
But it's like the 4 that went in this year because it's Alabama, Clemson. Who's the other two?
Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Oh, yeah, Notre Dame and Ohio State. These are all 4 states with 4 teams that have been so anti all this mask, COVID, everything. It's a peak 2020. It's peak 2020 college football. And then for what's his name, Brian Kelly, to say, yo, if we can't have the families, Notre Dame ain't playing.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. And then his quarterback had to walk that back. Go, no, we're going to come back. We want to be there. It's just it's madness. Then you got what's his face, Dabo Sweeney, calling out Ohio State, saying they shouldn't even be there because Dabo's been on a self-interest tour for the beginning of this fucking season, and all the Black Lives Matter, that shit that he was very clumsy about. And now and then he started accusing teams of purposely forfeiting games to avoid playing Clemson. He accused Florida State of purposely getting COVID so they wouldn't have to play Clemson. That is so. This guy is like
because everybody is like, you know what I want right now? A disease that could do absolutely nothing to me or murder me. That's exactly what I want right now because I don't want to play an opponent. That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, I'm all about the toss-ups with diseases. You know what I'm saying? Magic Johnson living with a disease.
Wait, Jay. It's like the video you played on Blurs, bro. The duties be like, I'm real nigga. I fucking Russian roulette in this hole. I kill myself, dude. Pulls the trigger on the gun, not realizing there's an actual bullet. It whizzes by his head by this much rope and hits the wall. And then he starts like crying. And his friend's like, see, you a bitch, motherfucker. You ain't
I put the video up. I literally say on the caption, y'all want to see a dude go see Jesus real quick? And as soon as the bullet go past, you see dude face like, it's the most realization of, I just literally almost killed myself,
bro. It's without getting into too much COVID talk. We got to focus on sports and shit. It's literally what happens with every person. It's like, man, it's a fucking hoax. Ain't nobody worried about no motherfucking COVID. I don't wear no motherfucking mask.
Wait, watch what I say. When you keep talking, I'm gonna stop. No, keep talking. I'm stop.
Like, man, fuck all this shit. I'm tired of that. I ain't doing it.
2 weeks later.
Hey, yo, fam, I would like to say if you could all just pray for me. This COVID shit is real. I haven't been able to breathe properly for weeks.
1 week later. We'd like to say rest in peace to young brother who was out here. Who took the virus. That's literally how it's
every time, man. So that's ignorant as fuck for them to be like, they got COVID on purpose because they don't want to play us. Just shut your ass up, bro.
Then there's the Yahoo headline. Black man dies after laughing at COVID. Yahoo loves to put that up there first.
First of all, I know what you meant, but anybody that just came in at that moment, black man dies. Like, on the Negro solstice? You gonna do this on the Negro solstice?
The Negro solstice. Yo, whose regenerative powers failed them today? This is bullshit, man.
It's a black dude getting locked up. Like, this ain't supposed to happen.
Like, yo, real talk though, it would be so like, did you see all the Terry Crews memes they put out talking about like, yo, like Terry Crews while all the other black people are getting powers and he out here just like,
I said, somebody got to go check on Dr. Umar. I said, that motherfucker sitting around with a bowl of boiled okra, raw oxtails, and an X-Clan CD doing the Chucky spell on an M'Baku doll trying to get his superpowers.
Bro, oh my God.
That was the one person, though, everybody was like, yo, if this happens for real for black people and Dr. Umar Johnson gets superpowers, it's going to be an extinction level event for white people.
A fair point. It's absolutely a fair point. Oh, man. Anyway, I wouldn't care if I were you. Like, it's college football. The teams weren't even starting on the same days. People are playing 6 games. It's ridiculous. It was a mess. It's all about money. That's why those 4 big teams were selected, because they're 4 huge teams that will bring in fans, that bring in audience, and they'll make money off this whole thing. And Cincinnati should be in there. Absolutely. Louisiana should be in the conversation, but they were never going to, is it Coastal Carolina did well as well, but they were never going to consider any of those teams. Hell, Iowa State has lost 3 times and it's ranked higher than Cincinnati. That's fucking ridiculous, man. But that's the game that nowadays. NCAA is very much about the money. They don't give a shit about the non-Power 5 conference.
Question.
Don't let them lie to you and tell you that they do.
Yeah. I'm actually a little scared. Question. I mean, there's only a 2% chance here, but what are the odds that Ebron gets over 26 points? What's your over-under that he gets over 26 points in fantasy football?
Eric Ebron tonight against the Bengals?
Yeah.
26 points?
He needs, in order to lose, I'm up by 26.6 on one of my opponents, and that's all he has left.
I think you're fine, because I think this is a divisional game, and the Bengals are going to come and play the Steelers hard just to fuck with them.
I hope so, bro.
And
like the last thing that I would have,
Yeah, that's
go
what I would.
Go ahead. Yeah. All right.
All right, we got over 150 y'all watching us, but only 67 likes. Come on, people, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, and give us some love, and keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats as we go along here.
Super Chats?
The Super Chats, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, I'm getting old. Tom Brady, apparently he loves to play Atlanta, and he loves to spot Atlanta points just so he can come back and piss on their grave. He did it again. He won 31-27 yesterday. He was down 17 points twice to these Falcons, 17-0, and then 24-7. And he dragged this Buccaneers team to the finish line, beat him 31-27. He finished 31-45 for 390 yards and 2 touchdowns. And to cap it all off, Antonio Brown got himself his first touchdown since joining the Bucs and his first since week 2 of the 2019 season. Fell to his knees, raised both arms. He told Tom Brady, "I fucking love you, man." So a lot of love to the Buccaneers. They're getting it done. I mean, look, I don't know what we have in this Buccaneers team, to be honest with you. They could shit the bed in the first half and absolutely blow the doors off you in the second half. You should have no idea what to expect. So Tom Brady, it's essentially the Bucs are going to make the playoffs on a day that the Patriots got kicked out of the playoffs. So what do you make of this one, Jay?
This ain't about the Buccaneers. It's about the Falcons. They need to fire the front office.
Well, they fired the coach already.
No. I'm talking about everybody in the front office, the back office. Fire the bucket of Gatorade they drink. Get rid of the field. Disinfect the doors because something is wrong.
Yeah,
they are trying. That just getting rid of Dan Quinn thing does nothing. Nothing.
The mentality is still there.
Yeah, that mentality is still there because yes, their interim coach has been helping them get a few wins. But the fact that you are proving you will never let go of the stigma of you being the 28-3 at halftime Super Bowl Atlanta Falcons.
True.
And you're consistently proving it.
Yeah.
You're consistently proving it.
Yeah.
And that is bad. That's your whole identity.
I just like at what point do we go and change the Wikipedia of the Falcon or of the city of Atlanta that the city of Atlanta founded an XYZ day, mother Keisha Bottoms, father Tom Brady, because he fucking has sunned this city multiple times. It ain't Black Lana no more. It's Tom Lana, bro. He owns the city of Atlanta at this point. More so than Tyler Perry. It is Tom City, bro. Like the Falcons have failed this city. bro.
Philosopher King saying the Falcons have lost 3 games this year when they had a 95% win probability.
Well, see, that's what scares me, and that's why I'm freaking out a little bit because so that's who I have left. In the one game, the 26 points on Ebron. In the other game, hold on. Broncos just got to do it at this point. I mean, for real, they got to go, fam. They got to go.
Oh,
I like this one. I like this one from IMAX. Ebron drops a lot of passes. I don't know, Winston. You might be in trouble on Negro Solstice.
That's what I'm worried about because then it's also the other team I'm playing. They got Juju Smith left, and but I'm up by 40.5. Now here's the thing: we've seen some wild ass games from receivers this year. It essentially almost feels like maybe the Steelers just don't go. Maybe it goes to Claypool, and I feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
If he decides to make a connect with either Ebron or Juju and just go the fuck off, I could lose one of these fucking semifinals, and I'm not happy about it. I don't like it.
You're walking that tightrope, brother.
I really am.
Connor Pearson War says, Winston, I'm in a similar situation with the Steelers-Bengals again tonight, but I need Juju to get 24 points or less to move on in my playoffs. Do you think I'm good?
If he here's the thing, I'm gonna say yes because if he gets only 20, less than 24 for you, that's less for 40 for me. So then we both win. So yes, I'm gonna say you good, son. Hang in there.
Hold on, just a little while longer.
If it makes me feel any better, the simple fact that he is not a receiver for Tom Brady as he continues to just put the Atlanta Falcons up in the orphanage, you might be good, bro. You might be all right.
Dude, this, like I said, everybody, we talk about Brady every week.
Yeah,
they got to lead the country and just be
the Falcons. Yeah,
got to play in Wembley. We talked about Brady, and we kept talking about how we established that Brady is still playing at Brady level. Sometimes, established that, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Because what Tom Brady does, what he did is what he's been doing. So that's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. This speaks more on the demise and the complete utter downfall and disgrace that are the Atlanta Falcons right now. That's what this speaks to. This doesn't speak to the Bucs. Yeah, the Buccaneers needed this win to stay close into the playoff hunt and all that. We know that. But to be Atlanta and to have this lead and for Tom Brady to be like, I am really sick of these bitches again, and then come out and do this.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that locker room of the Falcons going back in after that game? Like, better not nobody say a word.
Bro, you know what it was? It was literally my favorite movie of all time, Rush Hour. The Falcons were Jackie Chan. And then Chris Tucker, all right? That is Tom Brady, right? So here's what had happened. So the Falcons were like, wow, yeah, well, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden, Tom Brady goes, let me show y'all goofy ass how to do this.
I don't want to do this.
Oh, man.
You all. That good call. You all. It's not you all, it's y'all. Like, y'all. Yeah, every time they say y'all, that was Atlanta, then Tom would be like, it's y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Here's the deal. Like, if Atlanta chokes anymore, this is going to be another David Carradine situation. Like, if they choke any harder.
I hear what you're saying. Xavier Black Wiley said, this is from my brother Winston, that Tom Brady is the king of Atlanta. I'm dying.
There you go. Son, the shit out of Atlanta. Somewhere Lil John is like, no.
Oh God, dude. How did we let Mr. Uggs man fucking reign on the greatest black city in America?
You allowed him to be in the same division as it?
I think that officially means that Atlanta went from the king of the black people, the great mecca of black people. It is now dropped behind Detroit, Chicago, shit, even Nashville, Tennessee, a better place for niggas right now. The way Atlanta's playing football, bro. Like,
it's terrible, dog. It's just terrible to see this team. Like, if you Matt, first of all, let's just ask this honest question.
Yeah,
if you're Matt Ryan, what do you do? Do you considerably just keep saying
Chicago?
What you say?
The only thing that I can was the presidential league.
What you saying? If the Falcons were blue, they would have won. Anyway,
I'm saying he goes to Chicago. You go to a place that needs a court. Like, is he at elite status anymore? No, I think he's past his MVP days, but he's still got some of that in the tank. He's proven it the way he's playing. The organization is just cursed and just can't get their shit together. So go to a team similar to the way that we'll see what happens with Phillip Rivers, but you go to a team like Chicago that's missing a piece like that.
Oh my God.
And then
I would accept Matt Ryan in Chicago.
Matt Ryan in Chicago would be perfect. That would be perfect. Matt Ryan in Chicago. Kent Daddy says, wait, did Brady get superpowers for adopting Antonio Brown? No, I don't think that's how it
No, because if that was the case, Kim Kardashian got a bunch of them today. Anyway.
Hey man, look, they say that apparently. Never mind. This ain't Birds After Dark. I can't be talking about that.
Oh, black by injection don't count today.
Yeah.
What does it?
Black by injection.
Well, I was gonna say, that's a whole thing. Apparently, that because just like if you were to take in nutrients as far as like food, the same thing. Like obviously, like the uterus absorbs the semen that comes in, and supposedly you start to take on a little bit of the DNA that you have like absorbed that way. So she is slowly.
Don't do this.
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 Well, it was a fun show for the last.
Don't do this.
10 months.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
All the games.
I can't even make my head the same face to anything else. Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
All right, yo, let's get to this Cowboys game real quick.
All right, let's do it. I know you got to go in a little bit. All right, let's do it. The Cowboys, for some reason, thought they should go out and beat these 49ers. Tony Pollard scored 2 touchdowns with Ezekiel Elliott supposedly sidelined by a calf issue that he's been battling for weeks, also known as he didn't want to play. The Cowboys kept their slim playoff hopes alive here, winning 41-33. 4 of the 7 Dallas scores were set up by turnovers from the 49ers, who became the second Super Bowl runner-up team of the past 13 seasons to finish with a losing record. The next year, they were eliminated from playoff contention. Andy Dalton was 19 of 33 for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nick Mullins, 21 of 36 for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, and he kept him in there. And then eventually, C.J. Beathard came in and threw himself a Hail Mary TD when it was too late. But look, Dallas looked good yesterday, Winston. Certainly better than we did against the 49ers. We needed our defense to score 2 touchdowns to help us beat them. So is this a matter of your Cowboys kind of rounding into form with a outside chance of taking this division? I mean, they'd have to win the next 2, and the Washington football team would have to lose the next 2. But are you happy with them doing this or unhappy with them doing this?
I mean, because here's the problem. Yeah. On the one hand, who doesn't like seeing their team win? Like, in the same way that I actually don't feel bad for the Jets in that, it's a little stupider in their case because they were the odds-on favorite to get Lawrence. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would prefer the better the better draft position. Considering, okay, we win the division and then we play. Let me hold up. I'm gonna pull up the standings right now.
Oh, I can tell you the standings right now, real quick. The Washington football team is number 1 with 6-8. The Cowboys are 5-9, followed up by New York at 5-9.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to see who we would play. So we would be the 4th. It would be what 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. So currently it would be the Rams. I'm not trying to replay these niggas. Even though they're suspect as fuck and are very beatable.
You're so hostile as a black man today.
I just this. Hey man, of course I am. So I don't. That's the thing. The only team on this list that I would want to play right now in the playoffs would be the Buccaneers. That's the only team that I would actually feel okay with because Tom Brady and that team has been very up and down. You know what I'm saying? So who of our division actually wants to be in these playoffs is my question. I know as competitors, honestly, I know that you kind of do, but as fans going into this, I want to watch you get in the playoffs so you can get bounced hella fucking hard about this bitch.
Can I ask you a question? You say as competitors, honestly, you think look, most of these teams know what it is. So do you really think that a lot of these teams are like, yo, let's try to go and see what we could do? Unless they're like, yo, can we just get this season over with?
Well, then why did you win the game yesterday? If that's how that is, why did you win the game?
I want you to win. You can't kneel for the flag. You goddamn gonna play like a cowboy.
But it's just not the Cowboys. It's just not the Cowboys, bro. It's the Jets too. That honestly was for their morale. I don't think you want to go in. You don't want a winless season.
Yeah.
But this is that. Yeah, but this is the rough spot we're in. I feel like this is one of those years. It's man, just fucking cut your losses. We all suck. Just nobody's making fun of you any extra in the division. Literally, whatever team wins, and it's we won the division. It's bitch, you wanted a losing fucking season and you lost in the first round. You want a fucking brownie, nigga? There's nothing good to have about this. The only thing that I really loved about this game. We may have just seen the future in our run game. This might be the beginning of the end of Ezekiel Elliott, bro. If he doesn't want to come in and step up when he's allowed to be the superstar, if he really had this injury, fine. But he hasn't played up to snuff. Tony Pollard, this is his second year. He's trying to prove something, and he fucking did 69 yards with 2 touchdowns and 63 through the air. You know what I'm saying? The kid has got some fucking game, man. So I can't wait to see what we don't cut Zeke because you just paid him all that money, but I can't wait to see a true 2-headed back system when Dak comes back. Hopefully we have enough money. We figure this out how to sign fucking Dak and shit. Yeah, and then
it was only a 1-year deal, right? His 1 year with his franchise, or was it 2?
Exactly. It's a franchise tags are 1 year.
Well, no, they were trying to adjust it for him. I know they were trying to do some adjustments.
Maybe, hopefully, but
I don't think I come back. I don't think I come back if I'm Dak. I don't want to come back to this. McCarthy's not going to.
It's the out. It's the easy out you got now.
Yeah. You don't have it is, but at the same time, what other? I mean, I guess a lot of teams would potentially take him. I could actually see the Saints. I could see the Saints trying to make a play for him. Honestly,
here's the thing you got to remember: we have never seen Dak Prescott outside of a Cowboy system.
Right. No, I know. I'm trying to think what teams you would go
New
to.
England. New England.
It's New England. You think Bill Belichick
because you have Belichick, but I don't think that they're set up to win for a little bit. I think they need a minute. I mean, I know you have the best.
You got to remember, we talk majority of their players and their defense. Again, they were playing with a skeleton crew in the Patriots this season.
Yeah.
You had a bunch of players sat out. It wasn't play people are gone. They just sat out option. Remember that option to sit out was there for the Patriots. So let's imagine hypothetically, if this had been a full power Patriots, we might be talking about them at a lower, with a lower record so far, but not out the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think the thing is this: you combine Dak Prescott with Bill Belichick, free agents are now like, oh, I'll come play there. I got a shot to win there. So I don't know what receiver free agents or running back free agents are popping off. It's possible.
Oh, dude, we have to find a way to keep him because it's going to be the saddest fucking day when he goes off and wins a Super Bowl with some other team. Like I might retire from watching football. I don't need this in my life, man. I don't need this in my life.
I don't need this in my life. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh my God. We'll see. I mean, Raheem Mostert went out with an ankle injury, so I think you just don't bring him back at all for the 49ers. Let him sit on his ass. And then just hand this thing over to CJ Beathard and see what you got. Don't put Nick Mullins back in there anymore. That guy has no confidence.
That's part of it. But bro, he also remember he hurt his elbow in the fourth quarter. Like he ended up hitting his elbow on somebody's helmet, so he had to. That's why Beathard came in there. But look at Beathard. Look at out here looking like a fucking superstar. You know his quarterback rating was 95.4. His RPG.
I'm 5 of 7. Yes,
bro, 5 for 7, 100 yards and a touchdown. Yes, bro. He out here looking like a fucking superstar. Like a fucking superstar. Jesus.
All right, let's move on to the Jets. Let's talk the Jets thing before you got to go here, Winston. Jets shocked the Rams 23-20 to avoid a winless season. After 51 weeks and 13 games without a win, the Jets finally got themselves a win. Of course, it's at a price, and the price is they are no longer in the pole position to get the number one pick in the draft, which everyone thinks is going to be Trevor Lawrence coming out of Clemson. Certainly looked good against Notre Dame over the weekend. Jesus, kicked the shit out of that team. Sam Darnold passed for 207 yards in a steady performance, while Frank Gore rushed for a score that was his 100th career touchdown in that win. And Adam Gase got his first win of the year, but only after blowing most of a 17-point lead in the second half. And they were on the road. This was in L.A. They beat them in L.A. And you look at the situation here with New York had a 13-3 lead at halftime after holding the Rams to 97 yards in the first half. They were up 20-3 in the third quarter. And then eventually Los Angeles came back and made it a hell of a game. But Jared Goff only passed for 209 yards. They had one QBR.
Say it's QBR.
You'd say it for me. Tell me, what was his QBR?
18.8.
Oh, 18.8. Oh. This is crazy, but you got to think Sam Darnold wanted to win this game as a fuck you to the Jets too. Like, you're going to replace me with this kid? Fuck you. I'm winning this game. And he played in Los Angeles where he made his bones at USC. So there was special significance here for him. But
that's probably why doesn't the Coliseum or doesn't the new stadium allow for some player? Not a lot. I don't think they went. Or is it because of LA? There's zero audience in attendance.
Zero audience.
Well, you know, his mom was outside with the USC fucking tailgate going on, talking about that's my baby. He playing back in LA again.
I like this. Secular Monk. I blame Gase. It wasn't enough that he ruined the Jets franchise in the present. He needed to do it for the next 10 years. Oh man, yeah, but yeah, you look at the situation. This is the way it goes. I mean, the Jets. Winston, Jay, you and Winston have been saying over and over again, these Rams aren't anything to believe in, and here they are winning 4 out of 5, and then walk up and get beat at home by a winless Jets team. This is a mental thing that they weren't prepared to defeat this team. They thought they could just roll in there, play half-ass, and get the victory. Now, what do you think about these Rams here? And look, these Rams could tumble out of the playoffs if they start to go on a little bit of a slide here, being 9-5 now. Seattle has leapfrogged them in the division. The Cardinals are nipping at their heels, and your crazy Bears might have a shot at taking their spot there, Jake. This is insane.
I've said it before, and I will say it again. Jared Goff stole the church's money. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The fact, you can go, but I mean, how the Jets beat them as far as the Rams underestimate them, that it always happens every year with some team. It never fails. So it never fails. So it's not a surprise, that it happens. If you're the Rams, people already look at you questionable.
Oh, yeah.
They already look at you questionable again. You got proven you weren't supposed to be in the Super Bowl when you were there. And then you got a quarterback who is really unreliable, but you done paid all this money to now.
Yeah.
And you're beholden to him. It's the Rams got to figure out what they're gonna do, man. Like 1 minute you're building an identity and you're building your franchise a certain way and it looks good. Then you give Jared Goff an absurd amount of money. If you'd have gave him a decent amount, everybody been like, cool. Okay, he ain't playing worth this amount, blah, blah, blah. But you gave Jared Goff damn near 140 to 160 million dollars, and it's playing nowhere near close to that.
Yeah.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, insane. What do you think, Winston? Same thing?
I mean, I had been saying this all season, even with the win that the Rams had on us off of some suspect shit, and it's the same thing that, like, the minute the Rams went to the Super Bowl and put up 3 points, I lost all faith in this team until they gave me a real reason to believe in them.
Yeah.
That this has haunted them since that Super Bowl because they were the hottest team in the NFL that entire year, got in there against the Patriots and could do nothing but a field goal. So until I see Jared Goff prove to me that he's ready to reach some sort of elite level status, until the running game seems fully consistent, and I get they had 114 on the ground collectively, but like none of their running backs have come out to be some big superstar the way Gurley was when Gurley was at the top of his game. Right. That defense is good, but it's the same thing I said to you, Rocha, about Washington, which I'm not going to have time to talk about Washington, Seattle. Defense alone ain't going to get it done unless you're talking about defenses of lore, unless you're talking about that Bears defense, the Steel Curtain defense, like the Legion of Boom, unless you're talking about some shit like that, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And the Rams proved that today.
Yeah. And look, the Rams right now, they have the Seahawks next at Seattle and then the Cardinals. They, as I said, could crash out of these and not even make the playoffs right at the tail end of their season, even with winning 3 out of 4. If they lose to the Seahawks and lose to the Cardinals, that puts them at 9-7. Mm-hmm. And there are teams that can leapfrog them into wild card positions and the Cardinals have looked good. They've been looking good over the last couple of weeks, so they could be on a rise. Seattle's kind of recaptured some of their, at least their tough magic. And you should never know with those Bears if the Bears are going to slide in there and sneak that spot away from them. So it's craziness. It's absolute craziness. We'll see what happens, man.
Real,
I like that guy. He's not smart. Yeah.
Real quick because I got to take off. Did DK get hurt? Is that why he was a little bit quieter? I know Dallas got hurt. I know DJ Dallas got hurt.
Yeah. Metcalf got hurt in the second half. He did come back, but I think that, listen, our defense played Seattle well. We had a shot to win that fucking game with under 2 minutes left. We had gotten to the 30-yard line, and just that Seattle front defensive line sacked Haskins 3 times, and we couldn't get shit going. God, I was so fucking mad, man. That would have been such a great victory for Dwayne and for the organization to beat Seattle. We'd have had a 2-game cushion. We'd essentially had wrapped up the division if we beat Seattle, but we just couldn't get it done at home, man. We reacted too late to what they did, but the defense played fucking great.
There you go.
There it is.
Much love to everybody. Merry Christmas, everyone. I've got some personal stuff I need to take care of, so there won't be an Inner Geekdom show. I just had to cancel it right now. It's all good. It's so just prayers up, everybody. But have a wonderful, safe Christmas. Are we doing a show next Monday, Rocha?
Yes.
All right. So I will see y'all on Blurds tomorrow, barring nothing else goes down. But other than that, much love to everybody. I'll see you later.
Much love to you, brother, and prayers, obviously.
Thank you.
Later.
All right, there goes Winston A. Marshall. The A stands for quality. Jay, it's you and I for the rest of the hour here. Let's talk about some more stuff. Let's answer some of these super chats first. Xavier Black Wiley says, hey, Jim Caldwell to coach Atlanta, Cam to play quarterback, Dak to the Bears. Go with me on this, Jay.
Dak Prescott is black. That will not happen. So we can eliminate that out the equation automatically. Jim Caldwell to coach Atlanta, Cam to play quarterback. Nope. Nope. I mean, Cam was available, and people could have picked him up as a backup, and they didn't.
Yeah.
The only team that looked at him like this might be it for dude. Like legit, he can possibly still play, but this might be it. This might be his last go round.
Yeah, I think
somebody really needs him and wants him.
I think he's Jameis, dude. I think he's a backup quarterback now. I think he's absolutely a backup quarterback, Cam. He could do is come in, spell the team for a few games or whatever, a few plays, but I don't think he's a starter at all.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
You can't lead the team, dude. You got to show what you can do when the chips are down, and he just couldn't get the job done against a number of teams this year, and it just doesn't work.
But also, it's that we do this in basketball a lot, where we say the first season doesn't work. We're like, okay, they got to gel together. And you got to remember, these players really had to learn how to work together on the fly. They were new in different systems.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep it real. Most people came in during offseason when shit was going down. There was no training camp. Then all of a sudden they got told, y'all can practice. But then it's like, well, you ain't got no preseason. Y'all finna play the regular season. So you didn't really get a chance to gel and figure everything out. And so is that Cam's fault? No. Again, Cam caught COVID. Is that Cam's fault? We don't know.
Right.
But nothing was set for him to succeed, but I'm not saying at the same time it was set up for him to fail, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good point. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I just don't see him starting in any capacity. I mean, if you can't get it done with the greatest coach to ever coach a team.
Yeah, but again, we can't do that though, because again, I understand everybody automatically assumes if you're an MVP caliber quarterback, MVP, Super Bowl winner, whatever, if you go to Belichick, you automatically got it. And yeah, we just said this earlier about if Dak were to go to the Patriots. We get that.
Right.
But every time you say that doesn't mean it automatically meshes well and whatnot. So it's not on the pairing, and it may not be on the court. Again, there's a lot of pressure on Cam Newton. Quarterbacks are under a lot of pressure in general. But if you're Cam Newton, you literally just every other team was like, nah, we good. Yeah. One team was like, yo, we gonna fuck with you for a minute. It's all the pressure, and we're gonna give you $1 million. That's all.
Right.
Fair point. All the pressure in the world is on you.
Yeah. But you got to show up. That's what pressure's for, man. We'll see.
I guess.
Ranger Donald 1 says, did the Jets lose possibly a franchise-changing player by winning this one game?
Who else has the
Jags, the Jaguars.
The Jags. So now it's a race to see who fucks around and wins again.
Yeah.
That's literally what the race is now. It's one. Each team is like 1-13, 1-14, whatever. It's now a race to see how they do it, and then I got to look at the standings because it's a way where possibly the Jets can still get it. The Jets are 113 or 071 in their percentage. Home they 0-7. Conference okay. And Jaguars are looking right here, 1-13 or 1. So they would get it because the Jaguars are 1-6 at home.
Right.
They won at home. That's the only thing that would allow the Jets to still get it. As long as they don't win, they ain't won at home. So like that helps them out.
Yeah.
So the Jets can still possibly get Trevor Lawrence.
Well, no. They said because of the conference records that I think is that it's definitely the Jaguars are now in the pole position. If they don't,
for sure. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, they were looking at that. So the Jets cannot get this number one pick unless the Jaguars mess around and try to win. Look, Gardner Minshew wanted to win yesterday. He just couldn't get it done against that Titans defense. So we'll see. See.
That's right to win.
Yeah, because I mean, Gardner,
we didn't expect this.
Because if you're a quarterback and you're playing for a team that wants to replace you with a number one pick, doesn't it behoove you to go fuck you, win the game, so you raise your stock as a free agent, and then screw the team over that they're either stuck with you or they have to trade you? That's what I would do. Are you kidding?
Yes, I'm drinking a gallon of water like a big baby, but I hear Rocha.
Do it. Joshua Singleton says, "Merry Christmas, guys." Same to you, Joshua. Thank you very much. Thanks for the donations. Very kind of you, brother. Let's see. We got a couple more here. Derek Blaney says, as a Jets fan, I'm praying Trubisky gifts a win to Jacksonville Sunday. Sorry, Jay, we need Trevor Lawrence.
Let me tell you something. I do not expect the Bears to win out. I don't even expect the Bears to make the playoffs. I really don't.
Wow.
I'm not one of these people that's out here happy because we won 2 in a row. Again, like I just said, last week against the Texans, it's the Texans.
Yeah.
And then today, yesterday, we almost lost that shit. So it's like, y'all gonna take this W.
All right. There you go. Galen Shumway says Rivers and Dak contracts are both up. I see them flipping. Dak to the Colts, Rivers to the Cowboys. Dak with an O-line and a defense. Yeah, Jay, what do you think? Do you think that could be the switch there? That could be the move for Dak going to the Indianapolis Colts? It's a dome situation like he's used to with Dallas, or not a dome, but certainly the kind of field is similar to what he's got in Dallas.
That's a dome.
Yeah, it's a dome. Right?
So then,
dome. All right, then Rivers to the Cowboys. I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, we look at it again. I'm gonna go back to something in NBA terms that a lot of people don't like to pay attention to, but it's something big. Mm-hmm. Markets. It's market. Does Dak want to go from Dallas, Texas to Indianapolis? That's a lower tier market in a sense.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Now I can see Phillip Rivers going to Dallas for sure.
Right.
I can see that guaranteed. But again, the question becomes, is Phillip Rivers comfortable in Indianapolis? Nothing is said otherwise as of right now.
Yeah. He looks good. And Indianapolis looked good yesterday. They beat the Texans. And Phillip Rivers looked good. He looks like he's thriving in that offense under Frank Reich and was what they were missing. And who knows what kind of noise they can make in the playoffs with that defense. Phillip's been in the playoffs many, many times. So when things get tight, he knows what to do. So could be I would not want to play the Colts in the playoffs. I don't know what kind of Colts team would show up. I would not want to play them in the playoffs.
If you've seen the way they've been playing this damn season, nobody can go into a game against the Colts and say, yo, this might be an easy win. That's not a such thing. That's not a thing this season.
Right. Secular Monk says the Jets getting Trevor is about more than getting the quarterback. It's about getting a decent, good head coach. The Jets need a culture change. It's true, Secular. There's no way they're keeping Adam Gase, though, man. I mean, I think they got Adam. I think the reason Adam Gase has not been fired is because they want him to incompetently coach this team so they can get that number one position. And I guarantee you, they were going to replace.
Imagine how fucked up that is. Like everybody at the office, they had a board meeting table. Like, we know this motherfucker's bad.
Yeah,
if we keep him, we can possibly get a number one pick. But we should fire him. Fire his ass after the season is over. Like,
let him fuck up the team until the season is over, and then we'll move on. They're going to move on from Gase one way or the other. Either A, if he doesn't get him the number one pick, they're going to be even more pissed at him, so they'll fire him on the spot. Or B, they'll fire him because they got the number one pick, and they don't want him to ruin their new quarterback they're bringing in. So either way, he's gone.
To ruin Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. My question, though, is I was looking at this. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Bill Belichick wants to stay in New England? Like, there are possibilities where other teams could fire their coach if Bill Belichick is willing to go. Like, Bill Belichick going to the Los Angeles Chargers to coach Justin Herbert would be such an interesting situation. I was thinking about it as I was watching the game the other night, as I watched them beat the Raiders. I was like, if Bill Belichick got a hold of this team, because Anthony Lynn, they went 14-2 or 12-4, something like that a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. That's great. But clearly he's not the right coach for this team. He's just not a good coach. But Bill Belichick sliding in to take over the pieces that are there already, he would elevate this team to the next level. If I was LA, I would absolutely kick the tires on that possibility. And whatever draft picks I'd have to let go of to make sure it happened, I would do.
See, that's a problem. You end up, yes, Belichick is a great coach, but how many years left do you have him? And you talking about some whatever draft picks, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you done gave up a lot of shit for a dude who's only here maybe a year or 2 years, and you don't win anything. You don't want to do that because you're gonna have to give up a lot to get him if that be the case. Also, Belichick know where the bodies are buried, so that's why he got security over in New England. Belichick know where the bodies are buried. Right. So if I'm Bill Belichick and I know no matter what, I don't have to worry about my job. I can retire out peacefully.
Yeah.
Why would I go?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, but how much is Robert Kraft going to put up with in terms of losing seasons if the bottom line is going to be affected where fans don't start showing?
First of all, it's going to take a minute for that bottom line to be affected with Patriots fans, number one. Number two, you've got 5-6 rings already out of this dude? You're good. You got 6 rings out of dude. You good.
Good point.
It's going to take a lot to make the bottom. New England would have to become the Jets, would have to become the Jags, shit like that. That would be the only way you could say the bottom is falling out in the Patriots, and they will not allow that to happen.
Yeah. Well, somebody said, didn't Anthony Lynn take the Patriots to the playoffs? Yeah, like I said, a few years ago, but it's always, what have you done for me lately, man? And if there have been plenty of coaches that take teams to the playoffs and they can't repeat that situation here. And already, if you're looking at this, there's a website, FanSided, they do the thing called boatbeat.com. The LA, from their hearing from their sources, that the LA Chargers are 2 weeks away from making an official decision on coaching staff, but pretty much everyone expects Anthony Lynn and the entire coaching staff to be replaced in 2021. So that's why I think it's possible.
That's fair. I mean, again, that's fair, but it's like, again, if you're Bill Belichick, again, Belichick he's set no matter where he goes. Yeah. Because he's Bill Belichick. Like, that shit's a given. Right. The thing becomes, if whatever team decides to go for him, what are you willing to give up and how much are you willing to sacrifice? Because if you you're not going to lock Bill Belichick into a 10-year deal. Let's just call that what it is. You're not going to lock him into one of these John Gruden deals. You might not even lock him in for 5. So let's say you got to give up all these first, second round picks for numerous years coming up to get him, and you don't win.
Yeah.
That's because the Chargers aren't talking win. Yeah, they want a winning record. Yeah, they want to go further in the playoffs, but we're not hearing them talk about they're in win now mode. If that be the case, then you got to make something heavy. And it's more than just getting Belichick. Yes, Belichick and Herbert together sounds potentially amazing, but then you're like, all right, we got to stack every aspect of this ball where we can make sure this happens.
Yeah. All right. I just want to throw it out there because I like that.
No, I got where you're coming from. I'm just looking at it from from the bigger perspective of, like, if you do this, if you the Chargers, you make this move. Yeah, you get rid of Lynn, you get rid of your coaching staff. That's fine. That's some teams do. It is what it is.
Right.
But you decide to go for Bill Belichick, you got to be willing to give up a lot to hope to win, not next season, not the 2022-21 season after next.
Right.
You need to win this upcoming season.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? When this NFL start back again in August, you need to be able to start like, hey, we about to start winning now. That's what you need to be doing. If that's not the case, and if that's not almost a guarantee to happen where with a team you got set up, then you don't make that move like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. You keep that situation because you want to make sure you keep those picks. You never know what can happen with those picks to keep you in position. That's for sure. All right, let's move on to our next game here, brother man. The Buffalo Bills, they beat the Broncos 48-19 to get their first AFC East division crown since 1995, man. 25 years since they've won the division. They got it done here. Pretty incredible stuff. They absolutely stomped these Broncos. So shout out to Bills Mafia. Shout out to Del Reed, who was our guest a few weeks ago after their game against the Cardinals. And they got the job done here. He threw for Josh Allen, threw for 300.
Take secular Monk's comment down. It's been sitting up here though for a while now. We didn't.
Sorry about that.
Then you know that you did that. It was still there.
Hold on, let me put that. Boom. There we go. There you go. It's
okay,
down.
There you go.
But anyway, what I was saying is that they got the job done here against these Broncos. Josh Allen threw for 359 yards, hitting Stephon Diggs 11 times for 147 yards. Man, you can't underappreciate the free agency move for them picking up Stephon Diggs, who was unhappy in Minnesota, unhappy with those Vikings. And look at those Vikings. Now they're not in the playoffs. Here are the Bills winning their division with Stephon Diggs as essentially their number one guy. Cole Beasley, their possession receiver, got 8 catches for 112 yards. But Stephon did suffer a foot injury in the fourth quarter, so we're going to hear more about that at some point down the road here. So pretty incredible stuff by Atlanta. By Buffalo, and they did what they needed to do here. Josh Allen get himself 2 touchdowns as well. Zach Moss running for 81 yards. So are you impressed by this Buffalo's team? They're 11-3 right now, Jay. What's your feeling about this team going into the playoffs at this point now?
This is the team we've been talking about. Like, yo, you can't deny them. You can't deny this team. They got we said also with the Patriots being as skeptical as they were going to be, we were like, this is the Bills division to win.
Yeah.
And they did it. They got the division. They're number 3 in the AFC, right? Where if the playoffs started today, they would play the Colts. So That's where it gets ripped. The playoff starts today. They will play the Colts. That's where it get real.
Yep.
That's where it get real. Now, this won't take away anything from Buffalo. This don't take anything away from Bills Mafia, the players, all them. It's like, no. Now, we talked about dog fights last week. This is a dog fight.
That's for sure.
Like, if you want this, again, we're not talking about no half-ass Indianapolis Colts. We've been seeing what Rivers is doing over there. We see what that O-line and that D is doing. So, like, this should be a hard-hitting battle if it goes down that way. It's like, it's now when you know you're locked in, right? You know you're locked in the playoffs. It's like now you try to play this whole, what position do we need to be in to make our, you're the number one seed. You're like, cool, we got the bye. But you get these other seeds, you're like, shit, what could be our best path to – you start sounding like November 3rd. What's the path to victory?
Good point.
You start sounding, what's the path to victory? Because you in the AFC, right? So no matter what, more than likely it comes down to you and the Chiefs. Yeah. Whoever you are, it comes down to the Chiefs. Yeah. So now you got to figure out what's the least path of resistance to get me to the Chiefs and the AFC Championship.
Yep. That's a good point. Well, I like this team. I like the way they've built the team, and I want to see what they do. And against those Colts, I think it'll be a knockdown, drag-out fight. But in the end, I think Josh Allen and that offense and that defense will get the job done.
He has to win a playoff game. Got to win a playoff game.
I agree. He has to win a playoff game. If we want to keep anointing him, he has to win a playoff game for sure. And speaking of another quarterback that needs to win a playoff game, Baker Mayfield took care of business against these Giants, leading the Browns to a 20-9 victory last night. He was 27 of 32 for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns, or 20-6. Sorry, they won 20-6. They are now 10-4. Jay, we killed this team at the beginning of the year in the first 2 weeks.
This team is mathematically out of the playoffs in week 2, according to us. According to us, in week 2, they were mathematically out of the playoffs. Now we just sit there like, well, shit.
They look dangerous, dude. Baker seems to have found what was missing, and he's been playing great over the last 4 games. The last 3 games before last night, he had a 935 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 113.5 passer rating. And that game against Baltimore is essentially the game of the season. Yeah, they lost, but Baker kept yanking that team back in there, kept building big leads, and eventually the defense let him down. But he was doing all he could to win that game against a very stout Ravens defense. It was incredible to watch. Now, the Giants defense kind of slowed him down a little bit in this game, but he still got the job done here.
Still the Giants too. And it's this is not trying to be disrespectful and shit on people. The NFC East teams, minus pretty much the Washington football team, you go into these games and you're like, this is pretty much a win. Because it's the NFC East. You look at, if you got New York, Philly, or Dallas, you're like, this is probably a win on our record.
Yeah.
Washington is a possibility, but it's like, don't take it light.
Yeah.
So, yes, the Giants, it's a good thing. But again, if the playoffs start today, it's you and the Titans.
Yeah.
It's you and the Titans. So what do?
Right.
Again, Baker Mayfield is good. He's showing who he is. You got, again, number one thing, just like I said with Josh Allen, just like we say with a lot of other people, you got to win a playoff game. Yeah, you want to win the whole thing, but you got to win a playoff game.
Right. Everything is in stages, man. Occasionally you get to play like Ben Roethlisberger or even Brady going in there their first year as a quarterback and leading a team to a Super Bowl victory. That happens, but it's really rare. So you got to build in stages. Baker, certainly there have been moments where you've wanted to, kick him off the team or, just not have him play anymore with those dumb interceptions, trying to do too much, but he seems to have figured it out a little over the last few games. So we'll see what happens at 10-4. But if they finish 12-4, and remember, they've got that game against Pittsburgh looming at the end of the season, that's going to be a hell of a thing for them as well. They almost beat those Ravens after the Ravens handed them their asses earlier this year. So certainly this team seems to be playing on a different level now with a lot more strength. And it may not be a coincidence that they're doing this without OBJ. That OBJ being out of the way allows Mayfield to kind of figure out what receivers are really working for him.
Yeah, because he doesn't always have to look for him.
Right. Spread the ball a little bit more, see where it needs to go, and be more confident that those people have his back.
So does that say that OBJ was a problem, and now going in the next season, you don't try to keep him, you try to get rid of him and let this Browns team you have go to work?
Yeah. I would
Everybody was hyped off for OBJ, and now that he's gone, you're like, well, damn, look what he's doing with all these other receivers. He realizes I have weapons available.
Yeah.
I have weapons available, and now you do that, and then you have a season what the Browns are having. So it's like, what do you do with OBJ? Do you go ahead and you say, look, thank you for your service. You got to go.
That's what I would take. I would get rid of OBJ in a heartbeat. I mean, if this is how Mayfield is playing without him, then clearly,
I agree.
Sometimes players who are mercurial, who can be a bit much to handle on your team, who need to have the spotlight on them all the time, they can at times gum up the works of the cohesion and the chemistry of a team. And we've seen this many times. And they're usually wide receivers. And so with lately at least, with OBJ in this situation, it's clearly proven he doesn't need him to win games and big games, or at least to contend in big games. So I would absolutely get rid of him in a heartbeat, to be honest with you. Yeah, send him to New England. Yeah, send OBJ to see if he can turn him around. That's for sure.
I would love to see if Belichick could put it again. This is saying Belichick stays the coach next season and great move. I want to see if Belichick can put him in his place, because you are right. We're looking at the age of diva receivers again.
Yep.
You know, we had that age of receivers that were divas when we had the Rices, Deion Sanders, Randy Moore, all them. Then we started having the diva running backs,
right,
and quarterbacks. Now we back in the era of diva receivers, and OBJ is at the top of this list. Like,
yeah, that's for sure. Because you're not getting the return for your investment. Like,
no, not at all. Not at all.
Hassle, you're not getting like 20 touchdowns a season or whatever from him. It's too much hassle just to make him happy. You know, let him go someplace else. Maybe the Raiders, so they could figure out what to do with OBJ.
The Raiders need to figure out what they want to do with themselves before they figure out anybody else. Before they try to get any star power, if you will. And I don't know if you still consider OBJ star power, because he may give you one or two flashy catches. Yeah. But before you consider any star power, you got to look in the mirror and figure out what is happening.
It's a fair point.
If you Vegas.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll see. If I was Derek Carr, I'd get the fuck out of there, man. The Seahawks, they held on to beat Washington here and clinched the playoff spot. As we said, they won 20-15. Russell Wilson threw for a touchdown. Carlos Hyde ran 50 yards for a touchdown, and the Seahawks picked off Dwayne Haskins a couple of times to cement this victory. But that being said, Washington came back on this thing. Haskins ended the day 38 of 55 for 295 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Russell only threw for 121 yards, and he ran for 52 yards on 6 carries. But I look at this team, and it's like it was there. It was there. We were driving. It was there. So are we a little bit better than people think we are? Or because I think if Alex Smith was the quarterback, I think we'd have beat Seattle yesterday. I think our defense actually can figure out an offense and knows what to do. So shout out to Jack Del Rio. Political positions aside, Jack Del Rio has done a really nice job with this defense. So you start to wonder, we're 6-8. Everyone else is 5-9 right now. So we could potentially wrap up the division next week if we win next week. That being said, are we a dangerous team going into these playoffs? Because we've been able to hang with a lot of these big teams over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So what do you think, Jay?
Again, you're playing with a point to prove. You're playing with the spoiler mentality as well. Because at first, remember, we all wrote off the NFC East as a whole. Absolutely. We can go back weeks. We can go back weeks when people were like, "Yo, somebody can mess around in the NFC East and be the number 1 seed at 3-13." Remember, we were saying that. We were literally like, "Yo, you can be 3-13 and be the number 1 seed." And so now you're just looking at a team who's playing for respect, and they more than got it. You're 6-8.
Yeah,
you're 6-8. You can potentially 500 out. Yeah. Again, 500 team goes to the playoffs as number 1 seed in the NFC East, and you're playing for respect. And it's like, yo, we're not down, we're not out. You know, the whole controversy behind the name, the whole name and us just being a football team. It's because that can hurt. I mean, when you play us on the team for a while and your entire team is muddled in this big controversy about your team's name.
Yeah.
People don't care about you guys as players and what you all are doing on the field.
Yeah.
Because for the first couple of weeks it was about their name, and now you're doing this again. Dwayne Haskins, you got to trade this kid. Like, y'all got to get rid of him. Like you're doing him no justice being there. Yep. Yeah, he played because Alex Smith is hurt, but y'all don't want him. Y'all really don't want him.
No, it's true, and you can tell. And they tried to kind of tailor the game play calling in the second half to his strengths, and certainly he played better in the second half than the first half. But the lead was too big for them eventually to come back on because Haskins is limited in his abilities to do what he can do, and the receivers are dropping balls all over the place because Haskins at times can whip those things in there a little bit harder than he needs to when they're only 3-yard throws or 5-yard throws, and those things go sailing off receivers' hands because they're too hard. That's the situation there. The kid can't figure himself out, can't level out, and I think they throw it to the Wolves.
The problem with that statement, and I got to cut you off. Yeah. How can you figure yourself out when you've never been given a chance?
That's true. It's true, and that's the thing. That's what I mean. They threw him to the Wolves too early before he was ready, then blamed him for them not doing well. Put in Alex Smith, and now Alex Smith is injured. Ron Rivera said Alex Smith will come back if he's healthy to start next week. If not, it's Haskins again. So one way or another, this is coming down to Haskins in some way, shape, or form. So he's going to have to step up, and I think the coaches are going to have to tailor a game plan that works for him. And hopefully they can do that in the next couple of weeks so we can wrap up the division and start preparing for the playoffs. But we shall see. He's been hit so many times. Yeah, Bruce Camboso says he's been hit so many times that he's spooked. Yeah, probably. We've seen many, many times with quarterbacks,
But also he's seeing ghosts on the field. But also we can say all day that when he gets put in, he has confidence. He's in the huddle calling the plays, leading the offense, blah, blah, blah. Your confidence is shot because you only here until dude get better real quick, no matter what you do.
Right. Great point, Jay.
No matter what you do, you back on the bench as soon as Alex Smith comes back, no matter how good you play. And yes, I understand that happens in many quarterback situations. Again, i.e. a Teddy Bridgewater, what we just saw in New Orleans with Taysom Hill. Drew, you only doing this till Drew can really come back. Boom, get it.
Yeah.
But they never gave Dwayne Haskins a shot. So it was like, you're doomed to fail. He was doomed to fail no matter what happens. Like I said, he can win games, and it's still like, congratulations, thank you. We got another win.
Yeah. Way to do just enough to help us. Yeah, absolutely. That's the way it goes. I agree with you 1,000%. Someone said here, what do they put? Washington needs a quarterback. Dak to Washington would be scary. No way the Cowboys let that happen,
but you gotta, and this. Please don't think I'm trying to sound morbid.
Yeah,
it depends on the situation with Ron Rivera.
Yeah,
because that's what everybody say. You say, Dak to Washington, because you look at what Ron Rivera is. We're hoping he gets through everything and he's well and whatnot. That's what would help that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's no Ron Rivera, now you're like, oh well, Dak just in Washington.
Right.
And you're like, now what?
Got to have the right coach. Exactly. Got to see how Ron Rivera recovers. Certainly, he rang that bell, so his cancer's gone. It's like, well, will it come back? Will it go into remission and stay there? What's the situation with him? So that's something to think about as well. Teddy Bridgewater, says Camboso, would be perfect in this system. Maybe. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the next one. The Bears. Let's do it, Jay. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just do this. Let's just go ahead and talk about this shit so I can get it over.
You got to feel good about Montgomery. He rushed 32 times for 146 yards. Don't you feel good about that?
I feel good about them establishing the run game. Yes, finally, past couple of games they've been able to say, yeah, we have a run game, and even I will even say, and not just Montgomery, Trubisky. Yes. He can use his legs. So I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Again, I saw this a season ago when the Bears had that 12-4 season. I saw Trubisky be like this. You know what I'm saying? Then we turned around and had the terrible ass, and it's like, what the fuck? So we've seen this. I need more. I'm like, I don't want Nagy there anymore. I don't want Pace and GM. I want Trubisky gone. Like, yes, we won. Yes, we're 7-7. I think we're like we're fucking drink. We're 7-7. Okay, cool. We are literally like second or third. I think we're second in the division now.
Right, we're second. You're second in the division. Yes.
Yeah, we're second in the division now. And again, it depends on we have to literally keep fighting over what Minnesota does.
Right.
It's not like a cemented second. Minnesota has to keep losing. We have to keep winning. At any point, if it offsets, Minnesota gets it.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, no, I think Minnesota is out now. What you're worried about is the Cardinals.
Oh, they are. Wait. Minnesota's out?
Yeah, there's no way Minnesota can get it.
So now we're just playing for wild card hopes. Excuse me.
Right.
So now we need the Cardinals to shit the bed. You understand? I need Kyler Murray to just fuck up completely. He's basically
here's the crazy thing. You guys own the tiebreaker over Arizona because your conference record and record versus common opponents. You guys are better in that. So they need to make up one game on the Cardinals. You guys have the Jaguars and the Packers. Arizona has the 49ers and the Rams. So the irony would still be, the Vikings are still a factor. They have one game lead on Minnesota. Vikings could still earn the final wildcard berth with road wins over the Saints and the Lions. They're not going to beat the Saints, for fuck's sake.
They'll get the Lions, or if the Lions want to play spoiler, because again, that's a divisional game.
Right.
That's a divisional game. The Packers are what it's so I hate in my soul as a Chicagoan. I hate that we look at that end of the year game versus Green Bay and be like, well, we know what this is. Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
And especially with this Aaron Rodgers playing the way Aaron Rodgers is playing. Like, we know that this the dude to show up, that's an automatic L. Like, we just gonna take the field just to make sure you punch the clock and get a paycheck. That's the only reason you do that. The Jaguars, you like, well, that's hopefully an easy win. You know, again, that's not a W we wanted. The Jaguars should not be a W we got to worry about potentially fighting for and giving them their second win.
Yeah. It's madness. It's madness to think about. Just absolute madness. Your Bears could slide in there, for God's sakes.
I mean, again, do I want the Wild? Would I like for them to go to playoffs? Absolutely. Would I like for them to go this year? Hell no. Why? Because it's the Saints' first round and they out.
Yeah. Probably. All right, well, let's move on. Dolphins eliminated the Patriots here, man, 22-12. They entered the game. Dolphins entered the game, last in the league in yards per carry. And then Salvon Ahmed, their rookie, and Matt Brady both combined for 208 yards rushing to lead them over to the Patriots. This knocked out the Patriots from the playoffs. As we mentioned early, Tua was 20 of 26 for 145 yards and one interception. No, he did not throw one touchdown. Cam finished 17 of 27 for 209 yards, but for the second consecutive week, he did not get the Patriots into the end zone. So, is this a good methodical win for the Dolphins? Does this give you a little more confidence? Does this make this team a little scarier going into the playoffs, or did they just run up against a New England team that just didn't have enough weapons and just didn't have that energy to win the game?
It's one of those things. Again, you're when you say New England at this point, unfortunately, you're playing New England. It's like saying you're playing Philly. You're playing, again, if Cam can't get you in the end zone, you're not worried. Second straight game, your quarterback can't get you to the end zone, you're not worried about anything anymore.
Right.
I mean, It looks good for Miami being second in the AFC West. Mm-hmm. But now it's just like, all right, what are you still gonna do? Because again, now you need Tua to go ahead and all right, y'all finna make a move and y'all finna fuck around being these playoffs. You might go out first round. That's a possibility. But if you do, you better go down swinging.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. I like their defense. Tua will. I like the Tua is looking better week to week. He's looking more comfortable in the pocket. I think the Dolphins have a lot of faith in him, and I like that defense. The Patriots are just cooked mentally. This is just the end of season, and then we're going to see what they're going to do from here. We'll see if Belichick stays. We'll see if Cam Newton stays. It's an interesting situation all around. A lot of rumors there have been rumors the last couple of years that Belichick's going to go to the Giants. I don't know. Do you want to go quarterback? Do you want to go coach Daniel Jones? I don't know if that's the move either. We shall see. But
what that means is if Bill Belichick is going to the Giants, he's like, man, I'm finna retire. I'm just finna end my year. Man, I got my sleeves cut off my hoodies and shit. Listen, I'm just going to go here, knock out these 16 games real quick. That's it, bro. Just get paid. Because that's literally how you treat Bill Belichick going to the Giants. No, Saquon Barkley. He might come back next year. And if he does, is he going to stay on the Giants?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Daniel Jones is like, AFC East. My apologies when I said that about the West, about the Dolphins. My apologies. Mm-hmm. But it's like, if you get Belichick to the Giants, you're like, all right, we got Belichick. Yeah, Giants fans will go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to go crazy. But if you're looking at it in realistic terms, that's Bill Belichick's. I want to chill before I go out.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe. All right. And then last game in the big block here at the top here, the Cardinals beat the Eagles here 33-26. Kyler Murray leading the way over these Eagles. They were up 16-0, and the Eagles came storming back against them behind Jalen Hurts, a rookie quarterback there. He was fantastic. I thought once they went down, the way he dragged this team back into the game and went toe-to-toe with Kyler through the rest of it. Pretty incredible stuff. The Cardinals do get the victory. They're now in third place in their division behind the Rams and the Seahawks. They'd be the number 7 and the final seed in the NFC playoffs at this point. They're battling with the Bears, battling with the Vikings there to see who's going to get that position, that number 7. That might even be battling with the Rams eventually if things go a certain way. So Kyler Murray threw for a career high 406 yards and completed 27 of 36 passes with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. And the Cardinals won despite losing 3 turnovers, Jay. That rarely happens. And the Eagles had no turnovers.
Also the Eagles.
Yeah, true. Jalen Hurts, he was 24 of 44 for 338 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he couldn't lead them to any points at the end on those last 2 offensive drives. And so it solidified the victory for the Cardinals. What do you take away from this game for both of these teams, Jay? Are you a Jalen Hurts believer at this point?
I was just about to say that. This is Jalen Hurts' team.
Okay.
This is Jalen Hurts' team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Get rid of Carson Wentz. He is done.
Yeah.
He should be done. I would hate to say he should be done completely. Who wants to pick that up? You've never had has he had a full season under his belt?
Not a full season where they've gone to the playoffs or anything like that. No, he got hurt in the Super Bowl year. Obviously, he got hurt the next year at the tail end of the playoffs. So he's never been able to return to that form that he showed in those 2 years, leading the Eagles on great. It's a great. And he said before this game, I am not a backup quarterback. If I can't start here,
I heard that.
Place else where I can start.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question to you then. What team is going to start Carson Wentz?
If the Jaguars don't get Trevor Lawrence, that's a possibility. If the Jets don't get Trevor Lawrence, that's a possibility. But I don't think Carson is.
You would start if you're the Jets.
Yeah,
you'll start Carson Wentz over Sam Darnold, who's actually winning you, who won you a game, and who is fighting for you, no matter what. Even though they are losing, Sam Darnold is fighting for them.
Yeah, I mean. He could go to the Jets. He could go to the Bears. He could go to the Carson Wentz.
He couldn't.
Yeah.
No, they'll run him out there like when I say fans will find that crib he probably got in Lake Forest, they will run his ass out that city. You don't belong here, boy. You don't belong here. White guy telling the white guy that. Do you understand how terrifying that is? You don't belong here, boy. Hey, yes, there are people in Illinois who sound like that, in case you didn't realize.
Yeah. My great fear would be that the Washington football team would pull another one of their idiotic moves and bring Carson over, just like they brought Donovan McNabb over. It would just be a complete and utter mistake. Carson Wentz to the 49ers? Maybe. That could be a possibility because Jimmy G ain't going to come back in any way, shape, or form mentally. But then again, it's both of those teams, right? It's both those players have had terrible regular seasons recently. And do you want to go with guys like that? Well, I guess they went to the Super Bowl, right? But I mean, like Jimmy G had one good season. Does he really inspire your faith in him to let him lead your team again? I don't know. I wouldn't. That's for sure.
Who's this Matt Nagy in here? Because I love this. Are you criticizing the way I develop quarterback? Yeah, you're goddamn right I am. Your quarterback is not developed. All of a sudden, somebody gave him a little bit of inspiration, and he feels a little bit better about his spirit. And now all of a sudden, he's won 2 games.
I wish Matt Nagy was in here. That would be awesome. Oh, shit, Matt. If you're in here, you need to go coach your team. You don't need to be hanging out in these chats.
Don't even want him to coach them. The team sometimes don't even care no more. They like, we can run practice ourselves. The team run their own practices, playing as themselves on Madden. They're like, all right, this is what we're going to do.
All right. Well, shout out. Okay, let's go to the best of the rest. The Packers defeated the Panthers to keep that number 1 seed in the NFC. Aaron Jones, rushing for 45 yards rather, and a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers only threw for 143 yards. Wow. The Ravens crushed the Jaguars for their third straight win to go 9-5. Ravens looking like they did at the beginning of the year now. They had a little bit of a swoon in the middle of the year, but they have come back here. They destroyed them 40-14. Pretty insane there. J.K. Dobbins running for 64 yards in the score. And Des Bryant on the same day that Antonio Brown got
I think everybody, that was the thing that made everybody was like, hey, look at old receivers coming back and making some things happen. Dance and Antonio on the day before Negro solstice, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to always refer to that as long as I can with December 21st. The day is Negro solstice.
And Gardner Minshew for the Jags, he went 22 of 29 for 226 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he was sacked 5 times and lost a fumble. As we said earlier, the Raiders' playoff hopes died in their loss to the Chargers 30-27. Derek Carr got knocked out of the game. Marcus Mariota sighting. He came in and took over for Derek Carr, went 17 of 28 for 226 yards and a touchdown and INT, but it wasn't enough. Chargers get
Marcus
that.
Mariota was like, y'all remember me?
I mean, he looked good. It looked good, but then again, the Chargers weren't prepared to play Mariota, so you can't really judge.
Yeah, that's what they people like. Yo, he came in, they be like, yo, he looked great. Nobody game planned for Marcus Mariota.
You got to adjust that. Tennessee destroyed Detroit to stay atop the AFC South here, 46-25. Tannehill was 21 of 27, 273 yards and 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry ran for 147 yards and a touchdown.
I got to see this stiff arm everybody keeps talking about.
For you right now. That's what I was loading it up here. Here we go. Get off.
Nope. Somebody got to get shot. Somebody got to get shot. You not finna. Nope. You not finna take my face with your whole, and not even just push me to the side. You push me there. Nope. Somebody got to go. That is somebody got to go. That is how you start a duel.
Look at this.
Somebody got to. Nope. Look at this. Look at this. His old teammate leaped over him like they did Michelle when she fell on 106 in Park. Like Beyonce and Kelly walked over. Somebody got to go.
Oh, I love this. Child abuse. Child abuse.
Hey, man, can you imagine you come back, you go back to the locker room after the game is over and you check your phone and it is nothing but text messages, tweets, all of your face like this? This is all you just been seen in a GIF. So it's the same like 1 second you just going on repeat. Hell, somebody got to die. Somebody got to die.
His head bounced like a basketball.
Can you imagine you playing Tennessee and you in the secondary, 93 man, straight up, somebody hit his ass with the. Can you imagine you in the secondary playing volleyball with your man? You secondary, you like, yo, you don't have to be like, you're the last line of defense against Derrick Henry. Do you understand? Look, they say that. I understand that performance enhancing drugs are against the rules and regulations of the National Football League. I also understand that illegal recreational drugs are also against the rules and regulations of the professional National Football League. But however, should you tell a player in the secondary who is 5'10", 202 that he is the last line of defense against Derrick Henry, allow that man to take bumps of cocaine in periodic times during the game because he needs some milk, right? That boy needs some milk. Look, play the clip again. Look, run the clip one more goddamn time. I want you to see this shit. Look. He like, okay, I can get him. Oh, shit. He ran over there. That's belief in yourself, first of all. Ooh, I can do this. No shit. Oh.
The thing is incredible is he keyed on it. Derek knew what he was going to do as soon as he looked at that kid the whole time as he's running with that ball. Look at him. He's looking right at him. As soon as he gets
your ass want this?
I'm going to fuck up your world, son.
Girl.
Damn. That was beautiful to watch, man. That is a stiff arm.
Wait. A DB said Henry should be banned from using stiff arm. Listen, every other player in the National Football League is allowed to use this maneuver, but Derrick Henry, because you've been insulting men's souls. Not careers, their souls.
That's ridiculous. I can't play the audio. The audio gets me in trouble. So if I play the video, I'm good to go. That's what I was told from Mr. Jay Washington. I'm okay.
Yeah, they don't. YouTube listens for the sound.
Yeah. So we're good to go. I mean, that's what you got to think about. I mean,
hello.
Right. Okay. All right, let's get into this other. Oh yeah, and then the Colts also got the job done here, man, against Texas, 27-20. Phillip Rivers thrown for 228 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zach Pascal had 87 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor ran for 83 yards and a touchdown. Man, they're starting to scare me a little bit, Jay. We talked about a little bit earlier about the Colts. Like, if their offense starts to figure it out and match what their defense can do, this team might fuck some people up in the playoffs. And
that's that first round match with is them and the Browns.
Yeah.
It's them and the Browns.
That could be something, man. I could be
No, I'm sorry, them and the Bills. Them and the Bills, excuse me. It's them and the Bills. So, man. Hey, Ghost of Zion is the best. Everybody want to know my thoughts on this.
Let's talk about it. Randy on live TV, TLC over the weekend.
Look, for those who don't watch WWE has allowed Bray Wyatt to make one of the greatest characters that promotion has seen in a very long time in The Fiend.
Yeah.
And it actually works. And last night, they've done a match they haven't done in almost like 15 years, was an Inferno match. It's a Firefly Inferno match. And the way you lose is setting the part of your opponent's body on fire. Now, of course, Randy Orton wins, right? He gets the Fiend's jacket on fire. I knew Randy Orton was going to win that match. You know why? Because it keeps Randy Orton from pinning the Fiend.
Yeah. Good point.
Keeps Randy Orton from pinning him.
Right.
Now, we want to all talk about the gasoline to set this nigga ablaze. I just want to say God bless the WWE, their crew and production for all, again, what you think is live is pre-taped because sometimes it's pre-taped, and also it could have been at the end, but also that's the beauty of the Thunderdome. Thunderdome they can do whatever they want, and you would never know the difference. You know what I'm saying? They can do a bunch of shit. Now, people ask, where do you go from here? Here's where you go from here. Okay, it's the Fiend. He set him on fire, and the Fiend was born from the fire of the Bray Wyatt compound being burnt down. The Fiend has been proven as a character that is an entity. He was electrocuted. This man, Seth Rollins, stumped his skull into a grate 19 times. He almost hit him with a mallet. You know what I'm saying? The Fiend, burn him doesn't mean anything. All that's going to happen is Randy Orton going to pop up on Raw talking, I've ended the Fiend. I didn't think I'd have to go to that dark place. And then Brace will be, hi, Randy. And I would piss on myself if I was Randall Keith Orton. I mean, like, I'd piss on myself. I just think it's, again, it had to happen also because it's the perfect precursor to go into what USA now wants on Raw.
Yeah, right.
USA wants more mature. USA wants Raw to be what Raw used to be.
Yeah.
And it was going there when Heyman was the EP. When Heyman had control of Raw, it was going there. And then they were like, no, let's pull back. And it's like, but this is what USA wants. So if you got to set a motherfucker with dreadlocks, look, let me tell you something. I'm all for setting white dudes' dreadlocks on fire. I have no problem with that in my life. White people with dreadlocks disturb me, especially like these hipsters and, I'm all Black Lives Matter. Tell your mama that while she... Anyway, like they disturb me. And so, but the character works. The story works. And what it did works. Because again, everybody's like, well, where was Alexa Bliss? Where was all these different things? You don't need every single element right then and there. You build this story out. This is building literally to Bray Wyatt pinning Randy Orton.
Right.
That's literally what this is building. That's why you gave a match like this.
Right.
You do matches where either the opponent can win. Again, everybody will bring up when Goldberg pinned him at WWE Blood Money in Saudi Arabia, because that's what I will always call them shows, WWE Blood Money, because that's what the fuck it is. Okay. So, but that was only, it's a glorified house show that people try to forget because you had to do something to get the belt off him because you didn't want Roman pinning him. You don't want Roman Reigns pinning him. Roman didn't pin him at SummerSlam either. Everybody remembers he made it a triple threat and pinned who? Braun Strowman. He didn't pin him. So they're trying to do what they can. Again, it was a causality, that a casualty, like whatever had happened with the Goldberg shit. Right. But the ultimate goal of The Fiend is Bray Wyatt getting revenge on everybody who shitted on him during his run.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. And that's why the Firefly Funhouse match that happened at WrestleMania with Cena was perfect. Mm-hmm. There was no winner or loser. The loser was, Cena was like, I ain't shit. Like, he didn't realize that. You know what I'm saying? So the purpose of this match, and again, Orton's locked in. Let me give you pull the curtain back real quick. Okay. This is a Randy Orton who's working and playing, and I'm game. I'm down. Whether it's my last run or not, I'm good. I don't need to be put over. I'm over. Right. I'm a Hall of Famer guaranteed. Yeah. Randy Orton's legacy is cemented. So now he's not one of them people he's not like when Hogan came back in and I got to beat a star over every fucking body. He's not that. He's like, all right, let's make this story work. And the story works. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you. I like this question from Ratnick. You get lit on fire or get stiff armed by Henry? Oh, it's a tough
light me on fire. Let me tell you something. You light me on fire. People understand this. They like, yo, you got lit on fire, dog. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no fire extinguishers nearby. There wasn't too much you could do. People understand those things. You get stiffed on by Derrick Henry, and you literally eyed and targeted him up, and Derrick Henry looks you in the eye. You set yourself up for this, okay? You get burned alive. You didn't know Randy was going to burn you alive. You just thought you were going to lose a coat, take an RKO to the face. That was all. Next thing you know, you laid out in this bitch smelling like you out here smelling like old meat in the slaughterhouse. Now, you know what I'm saying? You smelling like Predator 2 and Gary Busey. Like, you don't want to smell like that. You know what I'm saying? But then that's what happens. So stiff, set me on fire. I don't need my kids see. My kids got to see me get stiffed arm on repeat. On repeat. No. Yeah. Set me ablaze. Be out my goddamn misery.
Chris Taylor says, is Bray's Fiend run killing Drew's run?
No. No. The Fiend's run. The Fiend had to come over to Raw to help boost Raw's ratings up. Number one. Yeah. Drew McIntyre I think what's hurting Drew McIntyre's run, for those who want to know, is the lack of an actual crowd. You can have the virtual Thunderdome crowd, but remember when he won at the Rumble before shit shut down?
That was huge.
Remember how it was when he won? Yeah. That's what Drew McIntyre needs. Yeah. I think he's just a victim of circumstance. Mm-hmm. He's just a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, brother. Xavier Black Wiley says, for John Rocha, the greatest Bulls player of all time, no Jordan or Pippen. Rocha, the greatest Washington football team player of all time, and why? Jesus, greatest Bulls player of all time, no Jordan or Pippen.
Shit.
I gotta say Derrick Rose, maybe, but even though he got injured early on,
can't go Rose, and I grew up with this nigga. I grew up with D Rose. I can't even say him.
Wow,
it's gotta be
okay.
It's a tie between Steve Kerr and John Paxson.
Wow,
what they did.
Okay.
Because they cemented championships.
Okay.
They both cemented championships. Remember, Jordan even was like, yo, I'm giving them the ball to make shots we needed to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other. It's either Kerr or Paxson, one of the two. You got to go one of the two. And it's hard to say which one, because basically Paxson was there and Kerr just became the dude that Paxson was.
Yeah.
So it's literally those. Yeah.
Okay. All right. As for me, I think I have to defer to Jay. Jay's the guy. I would throw in Derrick Rose, or maybe Jimmy Butler, maybe Jimmy B. But
he didn't get to be who he was. If Jimmy Butler now in Miami was Jimmy Butler when he was in Chicago, I would say that.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Washington football player of all time has to be Darryl Greene. Darryl Greene is the greatest one, because Darryl Greene didn't do it for 1 year or 3 years or 5 years. Darryl Greene did it consistently for 15, 16 years as a defensive back, a very difficult position to have continuity in, to stay great at. Darryl did it for all those years. So my favorite Washington football player is John Riggins of all time, period. John Rocha, John Riggins. It's too parallel. It's too parallel for me. I love him to pieces. My favorite player. But Art Monk, you could argue, certainly one of the greatest football. You could Sammy Ball, Joe Theismann. You can't argue Rippon. Rippon was only good for 1 year. You can't even argue Doug. Doug was only really good for 1 year. So it's like, who are the greatest? These are what I consider to be the greatest. Absolutely is Darryl Greene, bar none, with Art Monk a close second. Second. I'd say Bobby Mitchell. Those of you holders remember Bobby Mitchell. I respect that choice as well, but that's my answer there. All right, let's see if we got anybody else. Theismann. Yeah, Theismann did it for a number of years, and we went to 2 Super Bowls with Theismann. Look, I know we got our doors blown off against those Raiders in that second Super Bowl, but going into that game, we were an unstoppable offensive machine. And for whatever reason, the Raiders knew exactly how to short circuit us, and we shat the bed all over that Super Bowl. But we were world beaters going into that Super Bowl. We were all set to get a second victory, but we never got it done. 160 y'all watching, but only 150 likes. Please give us some likes. We're going to wrap the show up here. I was going to get into one more thing, Jay, but I don't think we have time to do it justice. Just know that the NBA, that the activists and advocacy groups are pressuring the owner of the Pistons, Tom Gores, to sell his ownership stake in the team because of his jail telecom business. And it's once again this hypocrisy between the NBA supporting Black Lives Matter with the players, but the owners themselves not necessarily being on board with Black Lives Matter.
Well, you got to have the players start talking about. You got to have the players do what they look. What the Clippers did that first time when they forced the hand of Donald Sterling. They forced the hand of the league to say, shit, he got to go. Because the players were like, we ain't got to stand for this. The players are like, we ain't got to stand for this. So you got to have, and I mean, again, will the Pistons do that? Probably not.
Well, they don't have a premier player,
nope.
Or coach, right? Because I mean, Doc Rivers was there in LA when all that shit went down. You had, ironically, you had Blake Griffin there, just like Blake Griffin is here in Detroit right now.
But he's still not that dude that I'm gonna look like. Blake's been vocal with a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to Black Lives Matter. Granted, again, his superpowers came in the form of a purple cloud on this Negro solstice. But I don't see him being the that big out loud voice about that in Detroit. I don't see that. Yeah,
well, and by the way, Jake goes, Rocha, you could have asked for an overlay for just you and Jay. LOL. I'm asking now. If you have time to send it at any time, Jake, I appreciate it, because now we're doing this thing where Winston can only be on for so long, and then it's just me and Jay wrapping up the show. So please, if you can make one.
It just reminds everybody that Winston was here. Like, hey, he was here.
I'm in earlier. But explore that news story with the Pistons and what have you. There's something to explore there. Also, a lot of big signings, NBA free agency. We can't get into them because we're running out of time. But Kyle Kuzma signed for a longer extension with the Lakers right after Anthony Davis did as well. Luke Kennard got some money there from the Clippers. We got homie over there with the Jazz signed. So there's a number of people.
I feel sorry for AD. I ain't gonna lie to you.
For who?
For AD.
Okay, yeah, for AD. Why? You don't think he got enough, or do you think that
no? Because LeBron was supposed to be gone.
Oh yeah,
LeBron was supposed to be gone. Like, yeah, it's cool to play with Bron another year, but this was supposed to be his team.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be his team, and Bron signed this extent. Like, he signed a couple of years.
2-year extension.
Yeah, he signed 2 years with him. Like, no, you don't get this team until 2 years, and that's if it's worth getting then.
Right.
Because again, everybody know LeBron trying to hold out to play with Bronny. Like, his goal is to play. He wants to be the first father-son to play on the court together. His goal is to play with Bronny. If don't nobody realize, everybody's like, oh, he's just gonna retire. No, he'll retire. He'll play a game or 2 games or whatever with Bronny or a season. Then he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. The Magic agreed extensions with Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz. Isaac got 4 years and $80 million, and Markelle Fultz got himself paid again. 3 years, $50 million extension. It's amazing how he learned how to shoot as soon as he left the Sixers. The Toronto Raptors, they signed OG Anunoby to a 4-year, $72 million extension. Everybody's getting paid here, Jay. Everybody's getting
paid. Them Supermax contracts about to hit pretty soon, baby. But when that Steph $200 million dropped, once them Supermax started happening, it's like, real quick before we go, I know we got to go.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance last week to talk about James Harden, who clearly who clearly in the offseason was like strip clubs and chicken wings. And then people were on Twitter like, don't fat shame him. Let me tell you something. First of all, stop that shit. I can talk shit. We can talk shit about James Harden being chunky. Why? Because you're a professional fucking basketball player.
Yeah, true.
On that court, you like football players are certain things. Baseball players, we really don't judge their sizes no matter what. Right. Basketball players, especially at the level in which you are supposed to have a certain level of stamina and athleticism. You ain't looking like that. You looking like when you breathe, you sweating out mild salts. Like you gotta get back to but that's him not wanting to be in Houston anymore either. Like he could literally be like, you know what, they ain't gonna let me go. Let me get 6 extra tenders. Like you can't be running down the court. They're like, you smell lemon pepper? Like it smell like you smell lemon pepper and singles? Because that's what he smelled like. He's the only person that go to a strip club and they be like, Mr. Harden, would you like your same table and spices? Like he's got his own spices for the chicken at a strip club. That ball ain't the only thing. Yeah, it's him dribbling his whole ass.
That's terrible, man. That's terrible, dude. Yeah, Rudy Gobert got paid. Sorry about that. Yeah, Rudy Gobert. Oh, that's terrible about
this. This is the truth. Like, again, he's supposed to look. James Harden is again. We look at NBA as look. Glenn Big Baby Davis. He was big, but at first he was like he was a bigger dude, but he was in shape. Then in the later parts of his career, we were like, oh, just. Can you not call 3 seconds on lane in him? Because we know he can't really move. Like it was just like that. Like you look at the ref, you're like, hey, look, I understand 3 seconds. You can't be here, especially offense 5 seconds. Look, but it's big baby. We don't need him moving too much. Like he can't really breathe. We ain't got oxygen on the side. Like
oh shit, hard then, soft now.
Oh yeah, soft now. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said. He'll run that off. He'll get it off. But the question is, again, was it just because your offseason was shorter this year and you knew it? You knew your offseason was shorter.
Yeah.
But again, the open discussion of I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to trade me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do what I got to do to make you like I'm not worthwhile. But does that help or hinder you at the end of the day?
Yeah.
And Killer Days got a point when Shaq is like, damn, like when Shaq, thick ass Shaq, who at some point in his life has looked like he has sat and eaten a couple of Buicks, when Shaq is like, well, James Harden put a lot of weight on. He needs to go to the gym and run the treadmill. It's nothing like that. Look, I look at Charles, and Charles over there sweating, just be sweating. But what I'm saying is, Kenny, listen, you got to have James Harden there. Put strippers down. Strippers is good if you got strippers maybe on Thanksgiving, but you can't have strippers for Rosh Hashanah and Thanksgiving and Hanukkah. Like, you can have strippers. You can't just have all the times.
Yeah, and here's a comparison aside, but yeah, it's a little bit, it's listen.
Shut up, I'll take care of this. James Harden looked like that uncle at the barbecue that told you, I still got it, young fella. Like I can still hoop against these young niggas. He looked like he's going through a divorce. He looked like he's going through several custody battles and he don't know which one he gonna win. He looked like life is
you're killing me, man. You're fucking killing me.
You don't know which custody battle he gonna win. This is
listen, I know we got, like I said, we got to wrap here. But like you're hearing so many people coming out talking about Harden. Even Russell Westbrook said, like, Russell Westbrook is his boy too, but Russell said, like, the culture in Houston is not the culture I'm used to. That people show up late to meetings, they show up late to practices. Everything is circling around James's desire to party in whatever city, whether he shows up or he doesn't. Things like that. So he's like, for Russell was like this, there's no discipline here. And now that he's gone and Daryl Morey's gone to Philadelphia with Doc Rivers, pretty incredible, that combo there. You start to ask yourself, well, why? And now Harden wants to leave because he used the place up and he's done with it. And now he wants to move on to the next thing. And
he couldn't get what he wanted out of it. He wanted a championship. Yeah. The closest thing he thought he was getting to a championship was last season.
Yeah.
That was the closest.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So now it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people who will consistently go, oh, man, all these players just chasing rings and not playing for the love of the game. And to an extent, it's like, yo, you going to chase rings. But it's like you just got to go what's going to make you happy. And if that looking like is that a costume? No, that's James for real. What? Like
Tushka, no. Tushka, no. Oh, Tushka, no.
It's just holy shit. Holy shit.
That is full on evil, Tushka. Full on evil. And speaking of Tushka, he sent us a Streamlab, or a couple of them here we got here. Tushka says, that wasn't a stiff arm from Henry. That was, what did the five fingers say to the face slap down? I missed your coverage of the Chiefs game, but that was sloppy as hell. We had some key players out, but I hope we tighten the shit before the playoffs. Listen, man, enough with the key players out bullshit. I'm so sick of hearing fucking great teams say, well, we're missing some players and blah, blah, blah. You got the victory. That's what matters. You got it done. And the Saints were a tough team. I don't know did you expect to stop the Saints? That's ridiculous. You guys played a hell of a game, and your players that were in there stepped up if they were new to their positions, or new to their playing time or whatever, and lower on the depth chart. So shout out to them. And it was a good slap down from Derrick Henry. And Joseph Curran sent it. Thank you, Joseph. He said, just sending y'all some love. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Are the Packers the favorites in the NFC? And the ending image of TLC last night was fantastic. There you go.
Yeah, as of right now, the Packers are the favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as this is something everybody said every year about the Packers, more specifically Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers is playing with a chip on his shoulder, it is a scary thing. And he is definitely if you don't think that man is playing with a chip on his shoulder, ask Jordan Love when he gonna see the field.
Good point. Also, bam! Bam, there you go. Bam!
That was done quickly. Okay, thank you. I feel special.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it, brother, man.
Thank you, Jake. All right.
You make the Outlaw Nation channel hum, my man. All right, let's get on out of here, Jay. I got another show in about 25 minutes. I've been going on. I'm just trying to pre-record stuff for the latter half of the week, so I don't have to do anything the latter half of the week, and you all can enjoy some content here on the channel. Much love to you, brother. I love you to pieces, man. I love doing this with you. Thanks for being willing to stay after when Winston has to roll and do his thing. It's fun rolling the two-man booth with you, bro.
Man, thank you.
Please tell people where they can find you and everything that's going on.
Sure.
Doing.
You see, due to the beautiful overlay that Jake Better just did, it's down below Twitter and Instagram, Mr. J Washington. Please go follow me. Seriously, go ahead and help me get those numbers up. Patreon.com, Mr. J Washington. My YouTube channel, I'm about to start doing reviews again because I feel like if I don't do something, I'm going to go crazy in this fucking room. So I've watched a bunch of movies I remember. I can talk about them. So also, Blurts in the Hood is tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. on the East Coast. Me and Winston A. Marshall. Please be on that. I'm not 100% sure if we're doing Christmas Eve Blurts in the Hood. If we are, that's fine. My daughter will be a special guest because Daddy's there. It won't be no choice. She ain't gonna leave me alone. I'm on air on YouTube. She loves that. She gonna be like, can I come? So my daughter will probably be a guest. Blurds After Dark this Sunday, 9 p.m. on our Twitch channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Blurds in the Hood. What else is there? There's that. That's that. It was something freaking. Oh, yeah. I actually recorded a new episode of the Mad Titan podcast. I got it out. And I had to suck up this. It was a month, and it was a whole lot of depression and mental bullshit I've been dealing with. But I finally got it a full episode. It is up everywhere you get your podcasts from. I talk about all the announcements from Disney's Investor Day, everything happening with DC, HBO Max, take emails, calls, and a whole lot more. Please go check that out. Please go support the Mad Titan podcast. I'm dropping them back every week. We're doing that. All right, that's all I got.
Well, I like this. What's it? Where is it? It says Rocha has 12 shows before midnight. Jay has 12 workouts before midnight. Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna tell you something. So I am actually going to go take a 20-minute power nap. Whoa. Then when I wake up, I'm going to drink my pre-workout, get my workout on, and then I don't know what to do besides close this door again and just sit in this fucking room by myself. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I get it. Listen, dude, I'm so fucking out of shape. I got to start doing what you're doing.
No, I don't sleep. I take a power nap. I don't sleep.
Fair.
I don't sleep. I take power nap. I take a quick little nap, and that's, I don't know. Yeah, 9 p.m. I'm sorry, 9 p.m. Pacific on, 9 p.m. Pacific for Blurds After Dark on Sunday, midnight on the East Coast. Yeah. Y'all are most likely off work and everything, so you can stay your little freak ass up. Because look, Blurds After Dark is a very, 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 very adult show. We actually are going to have sex education specialist, my homegirl, Tyomi Morgan. You can catch her at Glamazon Tyomi on Twitter and everything. That's like my sister, so she'll be over there. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, cool.
Bam, bam. Jake, thank you very much for the kind donation. Happy holidays to you and the Lady Outlaw. She's got to be a special lady to put up with your ass. Yeah.
No shit.
1,000%.
No shit.
She is, and I'm very, very blessed to have a woman like that right by my side. She is my ride or die forever. She's cute as nuts, and I wish I could play the video of her having some fun with some SNL content yesterday, but I can't. It's a cute little video of her messing around, but I can't play it. But yeah, thank you, Jake, dude. You know it's not necessary, but thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well, brother.
Max. I know the twins. Like Tyomi, her and her sister, me and Tyomi are like this. So yeah.
All right. The Maoris? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Nigga, there's more than one set of black twin sisters.
You said Taya. I thought you said Taya. So
Tyomi. And first of all, her name, those twins are Tia and Tamara.
Oh, is it Tia? Oh, my bad. You know, I don't know how these things go in life. I'm just doing my best I can. All right, thanks anyway. Thank you all for watching this episode of Game Time here. You know, we love doing it every Monday live, talking about sports. Please remember to subscribe to the Outlaw Nation channel. We're about to cross 14,700 subscribers. Thanks to you all, and thanks to the great people we bring on the shows like Jay Washington, Winston A. Marshall, Laura Kelly, Mike Vogel, Shannon McClung, Dorina Arellano, all the great people I have here on the channel, Alex Sawchak, all the great stuff we have going on. So thank you all so much for being a part of it and taking a chance on this little channel that could. So please, and remember to like this video, leave a comment down below, and share this video on your social media. All of that elevates the visibility of this episode and this show in particular. It makes people it makes it maybe show up on people's side suggestions there on YouTube. Maybe people take a chance and come join the Game Time crew. Follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And as I said, I'm pre-recording some shows. Jay and I talked a little bit of wrestling here. For those of you who are interested, our boy Ryan Satin will be our special guest on Strong Style this week. We're doing a special Q&A. I'll be announcing this on social media so you guys can send in your questions and we will answer them on the show. And the show will go up on Friday. We'll pre-record it. We're going to get it done by Wednesday at 2 p.m. So I'll put that out to let you guys send in some questions. So I will be announcing that soon where you can send them. But there you go. Ryan Satin joining us. And eventually we'll have Jay Washington on the damn show as well. Have a little fun with him if he's available. You know,
what the fuck else am I doing? If he's here's the thing. Let me tell you something. If I'm not on the set or I'm not working out, I'm in my four walls room with my door closed, debating my life. You understand? Watching Django Unchained for the 187th time. I don't know why. There is something about watching Django Unchained.
We all want to save Kerry Washington. That's why, because Kerry Washington's gorgeous.
You know, they could have actually put anybody in that role. Let's just be. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cool seeing Kerry Washington, but anybody could have played Broomhilda. That's just,
if you say so.
Bruh, what was Kerry's real? And Kenneth Daisy has it right.
What?
Kenneth Daisy has it exactly right.
We ain't leaving.
Random.
Fair enough. All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Much love to all of you. Thank you for your Streamlabs and your super chats. And Jake, thank you very much for the very kind one. And we will talk to you next Monday with another live episode of Game Time. Until then, wear your mask, practice social distancing. And if you're not going to watch any of my other content this week, have a safe and happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And I hope you get all that you could possibly want and you get a little bit of downtime as well to kind of reflect on the year, let it go, and focus on 2021. That's what I'm trying to say.
Downtime.
Meditation. That's what I'm saying. Aum, and all of that. All right. Much love, everybody. Peace.